This episode is brought to you by Midwest Night Watchers, found everywhere on your favorite podcast platforms.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Night Owl Lounge.
Live from the Midwest, it's Night Owl Lounge.
The Night Owl Lounge.
Night Owl Lounge. Might as well just start out with a goat. Welcome in, everyone.
Glad to see everybody popping in.
Yeah. I guess they want to learn something new or see how crazy we are.
We actually got quite a bit of stuff tonight, actually.
Hi, Jackie. And I'm taking that's the same Jackie that's in Dwarfy's jet.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome in. Where is Dwarfy anyway? He'll be popping in. He'll be popping in. Oh, my goodness. Good morning, Ted. Are you having your bacon?
Bacon.
Nice to see you, Ted. Bacon.
Hope you guys all had a good week or whenever the last time you saw us. I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell when the last time I was on air. I don't know.
Monday with Dennis?
Yeah, Monday with Dennis, I guess.
Monday with Dennis. And it is the same Jackie as in Dwarfy's chat. Or I call him Dwarfy.
Nice.
He's a Dwarfy. Not yet, but soon. Okay, so it's not bacon time yet.
I could go for some bacon.
Oh, bacon's 24/7. There we go. There's some bacon. Maybe he's working on his coffee, and then he'll get his bacon. UK bacon. What if it tastes different?
Oh. I don't know.
That's the question of the day.
Probably healthier than our bacon.
It's probably a lot healthier than our bacon. It's always bacon time. Yep. Yeah, it makes you wonder if it tastes bacon or it tastes different over there. No. It might be thicker. I mean, they're probably slicing ours so thin you can barely peel them apart.
Well, you can get thick bacon if you want it.
Yeah. It's coffee time still. Yep. Well, welcome in, everyone. It's warming up here. We're finally in the 50s. Going to get down to have a few 40s, but I'd rather take that than 0 and below 0 and the high of 9, which is Fahrenheit, by the way.
I was going to mention, since Ted's in here, if Ted or even anybody in Australia, if they've seen the maps where they say our maps that we see is actually upside down.
Oh, you mean America's the only one looking at it that way?
No, the whole world.
Right.
But the map that they present to us is actually, if you go by biblical or other historical tests, you need to flip that map. So actually the United States is south and everything that's south is north on a map.
He said it's mostly back bacon.
Oh.
And he says the 15th century ones are like that.
Yeah. So we give Mr. B a lot of static about being down under and all that. Well,
Maybe we are.
we're the ones that are down under.
Oh my! Welcome in, Amber. There's, am I pronouncing this right? Audacious,
Audacious.
audacious Amber. Welcome in. I don't know. There's so many different maps out there. How do you know which one is the right one?
I'm assuming it's the one at their point of view of the time period they were in, whether they're factual at not or not. That was their perspective. That was what their view of the world was at the time. Oh, the pole shift. Yeah.
Yeah, we're slowly gonna show some different maps. I went on a hunt this week and found, I don't know what, 30 different maps. I tried to send them over to this computer, which is an Apple that works totally different than anything else. I don't like it. And only half of them got sent an email. So, and then it won't show a slideshow and you can't click on it to the next one. And I just I gave up. And Dwarfy isn't.
I don't know.
We'll figure it out, and we're trying to do a slideshow with all these different maps and pictures that I found.
So since we were talking about Amber, everybody make sure you go in and check Sunday's show on Piercing the Veil.
Oh, different Amber.
I know. I was just saying, since we were talking about Amber.
Yeah.
Make sure you go and check out our last show Sunday, Piercing the Veil, and check out Amber from Paraworld.
Yeah, she was telling Appalachian stories. She was born and raised there, and all the strangeness around the mountain ranges. So it was a very good show talking about the Appalachia stories and folklore. I guess you call it folklore. Legends.
Yeah, folklore, legends. Yeah.
It was a very good show. And then this Sunday,
yeah,
we've got Latchkey Hustle and Brown Dwarf, Bigfoot Dwarf coming back. And they're going to both co-host with us. And we might get into some strange, weird history. Who knows what we're going to talk about?
Definitely old world.
Old world, yep. Yeah, I'm kind of starting to correct myself that Tartaria is not the whole world situation of these buildings. Tartaria was pretty much a region over by Russia. So I'm calling it old world because it is an old world. Because these old, beautiful buildings and cathedrals are worldwide. It wasn't just Tartaria. So I'm changing it. We're going to call it old world.
Old world.
Old mysterious world.
Old new world.
Something about it they're hiding from us and they don't want us to know. Dwarfy says, I'm with you, Chi. I don't know. Mystery. And then
Crazy
you find
stuff.
Yeah, and then you find these old maps, and well, this is the third week we've been talking about maps and stuff, and we keep bringing up, that central part. That has they call it the four corners of the earth. And, which it actually is the North Pole. So now the North Pole is another mystery. You can't fly over it, and they claim it's all covered with ice and you can't get there, but they let us know that they're doing something down south, right?
Oh, yeah.
But there's not a whole lot going on up North Pole, except they claim Santa is up there. So what is up there possibly that they're calling Santa? And didn't they do that in the moon too? When they went on the other side of the moon, they said there is a Santa. Isn't that what they said on one
used
the moon launches? And they said there is a Santa when they went.
They used Santa Claus as a code word for aliens, so they didn't have to say the word UFO or aliens.
That's what they say, right?
Yep.
Ted,
we've done shows on Chicago World's Expo.
That was about
Columbian Expo.
6 weeks ago, I think we had JT on. JT follows JC, and we did the Chicago Fair. We really dug into the Chicago Fair that night.
We've done Chicago's World Fair a couple different times.
So yeah, you got to check out JT follows JC, which is about 6 weeks ago, I think, 6-7 weeks ago, and have some old world buildings and talk about the World Fairs and how amazing they were and how they tore them down right away. Hi, Daryl.
Did you say hi to everybody?
I think so. I think I got it. Did I?
I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember us just starting off talking. I don't remember us actually saying everybody's names.
Because I think Dwarfy's the last one that snuck in. Because we got Jackie and we got Amber, we got Ted, and now we got Daryl. So
we have
these buildings are so amazing, and modern architecture doesn't even come close. We've been digging in this, I think, almost 3-4 years, looking into these old buildings, the cathedrals, how gorgeous these cathedrals are. But once you start using your common sense, you go, wait a minute. That was supposed to be like during the Depression time. That was also supposed to be the Dark Ages. Now, wait a minute. I thought cowboys and Indians were that era. But this is something that I was going to tell Dwarfy. You come across these old pictures. Where's all the saloons? We were told on TV shows there's saloons all over and casinos and, these wooden little villages. We're not seeing saloons and things like that in these old Roman style buildings. And, and of course, everything has to be opposite. They call it the medieval ages, Dark Ages. Well, was it? It looked like they lived in luxury with their clothes and the way they looked and dressed, and those buildings. I don't think they're giants. Giants have fat fingers. If you're looking at a giant, trying to make all the little beautiful technical details up on top of these buildings, well, doesn't he have fat fingers? I don't know. Somebody needs to answer this for us.
Most of the pictures most of the pictures you see, there isn't any people, or there's people after the fact when they show. So they're more current pictures of the old buildings when you start seeing people, but the original pictures you get, there isn't any people in the pictures.
And if you look at those buildings, they're not brand new. You can tell they're not even 40, 50 years old, like they're claiming that they built. They're not brand new buildings, but they're definitely stunning. And my main question is, why are they burning them? Why are they destroying them? They're getting rid of evidence little by little by little. They claimed all the big buildings for insane asylums, orphanage, prisons, the government buildings, cathedrals, mansions. I mean, they came over here, and I think this stuff was here, and they came over here and claimed it.
I thought of something today that, we had the orphan trains and the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 80s, when they sold us the Cabbage Patch dolls, and they all had birth certificates and names. Did they actually use the names of the original kids that were on the orphan trains or Cabbage Patches?
Oh, that's a weird thought.
So I wonder if you can take your Cabbage Patch Kid birth certificate and try to look it up and back in history for a real name.
Oh, wow. Well, I know the energy stations. Ted, I think the cathedrals were healing centers. I mean, the frequencies. They're shaped in the windows of frequencies of the cymatics that you put the sand and do the frequency and makes a form. Well, if you look at these round windows in these cathedrals, they're actually frequency shaped. So I don't think they were cathedrals and churches. They were a place for healings with the pipe organs, the large giant bells. They're all gone. I mean, these bells. I mean, they're getting rid of the bells too. They don't want us healed. They know that it was healing our bodies. Plus, bells keep away evil spirits.
Right.
So they kept ringing all the bells around. Look how many cathedrals is all over the place. That's, and they got rid of the bells. Look, little by little, the darkness is getting more and more and more. So I honestly think the Roman Catholic churches, they claimed all the cathedrals.
I think even in our small
Um,
town, we have like, I think at the time I was growing up, we had 2,500 people somewhere in there. We had at least 5 to 7 churches, and all of them had bells, and they rang them.
Not anymore. They don't want, they're
Now I don't think we have one in town that has original bells. They just have one of them plays electronic bells, or they used to.
right. Yeah, they replaced them with electronic bells, which, get this, these bells were probably 432 frequency. The new bells that are electronic are probably a 440, and it's not doing anything to our bodies like it used to.
Yep. Hi, Clay.
Hey, Clay. Think about you every single time we start our show. I just love our intro. I'm back here just pretending to play piano and just playing it. And thank you again for helping us with our intro. So yeah, we've been kind of going down some strange rabbit holes of the bells and maps, and still digging into this old world stuff, trying to figure out why are they lying about this and this and this? What are they hiding from us? I don't think it's just a free energy. There's something else.
Jackie's talking about the Georgia guide stones, but do you know there was a guide stone in Philadelphia? I think it was Philadelphia. There's a guide stone in Philadelphia that's been there since the 1800s.
Is it similar to the?
No, it doesn't have the weird symbols and weird sayings are carved in it, but it does have stuff on liberty, freedom, law, all that stuff in there, and they do have inscriptions on. It's like a 5-sided. I think it's 5-sided, maybe 4-sided, but it does have inscriptions and tablets on it, and it's considered a guide stone.
Welcome in, Claudette. Ted said they stripped out the bells for the war effect of World War II. Well, if you dig down this rabbit hole of our lost history that they're lying to us about, all these wars were not really wars against each other. They were finding artifacts, and they were destroying these old world buildings on purpose by having wars and bombing them out and destroying them. They realized that some of these buildings you have a hard time burning down with fire. It takes a really hot heat to do that. So that's a conspiracy. This is not real stuff. This is entertainment purposes only. That was the wars actually fighting with each other, or they were in on it together to destroy old world buildings in history? Because I think everyone's connected in this world, and they're doing this on purpose. I don't think all the bells around the world disappeared at the same, they're the same, they're all doing it.
They try to blame the bell disappearance on World War II, but Hey, NAC, welcome in.
Hi, NIC.
Oh, Claudette. Hi, Claudette.
Yeah, you didn't hear me say hi, Claudette?
No, I didn't. I don't know what I was doing.
Y'all think the med beds are going to have the same sort of setup as the old frequencies? If they know the real history, they didn't need med beds. They used frequency and sound and things like that to regenerate the whole body, if you think about it.
I think they're asking, do you think the med beds that there's coming out is going to use frequencies from
going to use frequencies?
And I don't think so. Yeah. I think it's going to be all electronic, all AI, and it's going to match. It's going to match frequencies for your DNA, your particular organ, or whatever needs to be repaired or regenerated. So I don't think there'll be an audible tone that you will hear. But it will use vibrations and frequencies.
Welcome in, Dina. I think DEWs were used even way back. Yeah, I've got some of these pictures I was trying to send over to this computer to show you guys tonight are these buildings that look like they were just melted. and some of these mountains, that look like there's doors and this and this and that. To me, I honestly am starting to think that they were actually buildings of the old world. Certain parts of the world has desert and looked like it got hit more than others. And looks like things were just melted.
Something generated high heat, whatever it
Mhm.
was.
So yeah, I think that they had technology to build some of these massive, gorgeous buildings and stained glass and to make them just perfectly, circumference of the frequencies and how everything just resonated inside those buildings. It's not a coincidence. So yeah, that's probably what caused. Well, that's what people are thinking. That's something like that caused the mud flood that made the earth liquefy into like a soupy, muddy slop around the whole world and just buried a bunch of these buildings and artifacts and things like that. So that had to have been an awfully hot heat. Still reminds me of Game of Thrones and whatever you call that, green dragon fire, whatever that stuff is,
Wildfire.
wildfire.
Which
So,
that's what's really strange that we call wildfires a day, like what happened out in
ah,
California.
oh my gosh. I mean, we got to think about all these little connections. All of us, Chad, everybody's got to think out loud and put things together. Wow, that makes sense. And they called that wildfire in the movie. Oh, and they say, was something like that caused Atlantis to disappear and move. Don't know.
I don't know. I don't know
Don't
the
know.
the giant door in Sweet Home, Oregon, Jackie. I mean, we've talked about
We
giant doors on Tartaria buildings and all that stuff, and obviously the Pope is very sick now after he opened up the portals not very long ago, so he's in critical condition. I hear
Well, that's what I said last night. I said he probably shouldn't have opened up those five
he might
portals.
even
Now they're
he
safe.
might even have passed away. You know how they lie to us and don't want to tell us
That's
till they
true. The
till they want
queen,
the information to come out.
right? The queen was dead. What, a year? Something like that. So yeah, he could have already passed, and that's gonna kind of be interesting in all this too. The new channel. What new channel? Dwarf, you starting a new channel? The new channel will be Old Worlders and Mud Flooders. I'm lost. Are you starting a new channel, Brown Dwarf? Or are we starting a new channel? None of these fires are wildfires. Oh, he said just kidding.
Oh, NAC said that the new AI cameras can see what's in your glove box, not only who's driving, but what the contents of your car is.
Oh, wow. Oh, they know everything about us for years and years and years and years and years. I mean, you can't hide anything from them now. They already know everything about us. Now, yeah, they're spying on us. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Robin, I said wildfires just because that's what the news usually calls them, but I believe a lot
Hmm.
of it was set on purpose. I mean, it's just so interesting that people were popping out these military planes that have the lasers or the high energy devices mounted to the planes, and then all of a sudden we have these out of control, starting out of nowhere stuff going on. Seems kind of suspicious.
There's been a lot of suspicious things. We will, Jackie, we will add it to our channel. You should start one. Yeah, he'll just keep talking about it on his channel. Just like what we're kind of doing. I mean, we'll talk about Sasquatch and UFOs, but we're kind of interested in this old world stuff, and a lot of us are waking up to it. There is tons of channels out there that is talking about this old world and what could it have been, and more people are waking up. I mean, we've been walking past these buildings and stuff for years, just not and paying any attention. But now, for some reason, the last few years, we're all kind of going like, how did they build that in the cowboy days? What? Marble pillars. That's one thing I discovered this last week. The first truck was 1904. How did they haul all this stuff? Just covered wagon?
Horse and wagon, man. You know that.
Yeah, in muddy streets. I mean, they get stuck when it's just people on the wagons, let alone bricks and these giant cement columns and marble and granite. I've got some granite spheres. Good Lord, they're heavy. That's just a sphere. I mean, how heavy are these pillars? I mean, look at all these buildings with pillars and pillars and pillars. Some of the pillars are way, 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 way up there. How'd they get them up there? Oh, I don't know. But it's definitely been a fun rabbit hole, and then you get into the old maps and all kinds of stuff.
Yep, absolutely. We got some maps or some images from maps. We might not go into detail tonight about every single aspect of the maps, but we got some images to show you. We got cryptid history, we got some UFO history, and I found a new one that's a weird, interesting facts for the day. So we got at least 3 or 4 segments of tonight's show that we can hit on, and besides what all you guys like to talk about in chat. So
I might share a few little photos, and these are outside of the buildings I'm talking about. You walk in, look at all the marble and the granite and all the details on just inside of those places. And like Dwarf said, can't do it in the wintertime. And then around here we've got rain in the spring. That causes a lot of flooding and stuff. And all these old pictures, definitely, they don't have roads. It's all mud.
Well, Ted, your house is built from granite. That's cool.
Oh, you're in an old world house. Oh my.
Bigfoot Dwarf just asked about how do you build in the cold in Chicago for
Right.
the expo? And they did it within a year or so. So,
and like I said, in the spring it rains.
And you're lucky if you, especially back then, you were lucky if you had five months of good weather to actually get construction done.
Mm-hmm.
You could push it one way or another depending on the weather, but it's usually about 5 or 6 months of good weather. Then it's like, okay, your window's closing.
Hi, Cosmic Joe.
Especially, in Lake Michigan, you know how horrible that weather is.
Wow. It just got records back from 1531. All right, so that's even back further. How did they make all these stunning cathedrals and courthouses and government buildings and this and this and that? 16, 17, 1800s.
Hi, Ross. Welcome in.
Hi, Ross.
Thanks for popping in. If you can't stay,
I told her about it. Thank you. Welcome in. Thanks Clay for bringing in your friends.
Yeah, please hit the like and whatever on the way out. You guys know how the algorithm works. Every little bit helps.
All right, NIC just said he's got 2 pieces of granite slabs glued together for a cutting board. Please don't ask me to move it because it weighs a ton, I swear. Well, look at all the inside of all these places, let alone the outside pillars and stuff. There's something that they're not telling us. And like I said, I don't think it's free energy that they're hiding. They're hiding a lot more than that.
Right.
So, we already kind of know that they didn't really have. Oh, another thing, a lot of these buildings didn't have bathrooms or kitchens. So I know they had outhouses, but I mean, that's a part of this little rabbit hole too. So they had to go in there and put, plumbing and stuff like that in when they founded them.
Yeah.
1 year and 45 days to build the Empire State Building. Mm-hmm.
Even Yankee Stadium, I just watched a video on Yankee Stadium where a guy asked AI how much material, including the stones, the iron, whatever they used, including sub levels, anything that had to do with a building's Yankee Stadium, and it said 750,000 tons. And this is like 1903 or whatever, or 23 or whatever, whenever the stadium, I can't remember, whenever the stadium was built. I mean, this thing is huge. And so he said, okay, so this is back when they had horses and wagons, kind of like what we're talking about. So he asked AI, he says, how long or how many horses would it take to carry all this material to build Yankee Stadium in a year? I mean, it was literally like a year and 6 months or something. And it said it was like an astronomical amount of horses. It's like nobody had that amount of horses to do that, let alone other buildings going up all across the nation at the same time in the 1800s, early 1900s.
Oh, hi, Freaky, and hi, Amber's Paraworld.
Hi, Amber. We were just talking about you.
And Freaky. You just snuck in. Freaky. Welcome in, Freaky. Nice to see you.
So it ended up, the gist of the whole conversation with this AI answering the questions was that it was impossible to do that within a year and 6 months with horses and wagons. It would take them, I think they said 200 years. And that's if all the materials were within a 10 to 20 mile radius of where they're building their thing. If they got their material from there, it'd still take that long.
Well, like JT that we had on 6 weeks ago. JT follows JC. His channel's crazy. It's really good. He's got all kinds of interviewers, but his family is in construction, and he's been in construction his whole life. Having all these things so tall, I mean, these buildings so tall, even if it was plaster Paris that gets heavy, you need strong support beams. We didn't have steel beams back then. Things are going to collapse in, or how are they standing all these years? So we didn't have factories of steel beams, just like the railroad. Where did they come up with all the tracks? We didn't have factories for it. So I still say the trains were here during this old world time, and they were burying out the tracks. They weren't building tracks out west. That was already there. Now, just look at old pictures of like Abraham Lincoln's train. That's 1850. And how beautifully detailed those trains were. So if they were here, they discovered and figured out how to work it and possibly how to fix it. But I don't think they made these trains and stuff way back then either. Mystery, mystery, mystery. Now, the Statue of Liberty, she came over on a ship, correct?
Yes, in pieces.
Okay, so she did come over in pieces, and then they put her, him, her. There's all kinds of, that's another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, NAC was talking about Lady Liberty and Indian head pennies and mercury dimes.
Well, it definitely looks like a reset that they aren't telling us about. And the secret society and the elite and all the big people around the world, they all know about it. And that's what they're hiding from us. And
well, the Continental Railroad is enough proof for me. I mean, how do you make these tunnels through the mountains and over the rivers and get it done as fast as they did and meet perfectly in the middle to combine from East Coast to West Coast without those tracks already being there or that system already being there, and all they did was dig it up and find it?
Oh, that was another thing JT and a couple other people were saying, they're in the construction. You need to dig and build a firm foundation. They didn't have backhoes and things like that back then. Are you saying you dug all that out? Those mansions and prisons and, those massive places, you've got to dig all that out.
They're telling us that
Oh,
immigrants like the Chinese and the Irish. So the Irish basically was all on the East Coast, and the Chinese and everybody else was on the West Coast. And supposedly they used that mass of workers to dig out and prepare and put down all the necessary stuff for the railroad ties and the railroad rails. And I mean, I'm not buying it.
Dwarfy must have saw one of the videos that I saw, because they talked about Statue of Liberty, why there's a chain on his foot. And it's not because we're a free country. All kinds of rabbit holes, and then you come up with more questions. That's the thing about these rabbit holes. You go down one, you find more, but then these other ones link to it, and you go, oh, that makes sense now. Oh my gosh, if this is this and this is that, that makes sense. But then you got more questions.
But I think
more questions.
Now, I know there's probably a meaning behind the chain, but if you look at the chain, I think there is a link broke. So it's like freedom, they're trying to say freedom, but I mean, there's always hidden meanings behind everything. Maybe that's going to be a Mandela effect, but maybe eventually that chain will be.
Oh, the chain's going to be gone.
No, either that or the chain's going to be all in one piece, and the Lady Liberty is going to be tied up and bound. Well, that's the way it's always been. It's always been that way.
Yeah. What are you talking about? You guys are stupid. It's always been like that. You don't know better. I don't think she truly represents freedom, because freedom is an illusion. Also, the torch is the light.
It was supposed to be, they used it as a lighthouse.
If you look at the old cities in the old world, there's copies of each other. Well, just another mystery that's not adding up is the Egyptian artifacts in Grand Canyon. Just pyramids all over the whole world. I honestly think the pyramids were probably gold-plated. And when they went around claiming all these buildings and founded them and claimed this and claimed that for the elite, they took all the artifacts, Smithsonian's and the Vatican. They took everything, and I have a feeling the pyramids around the whole world are probably gold-plated, and they're robbers, they're treasure hunters, pirates.
They're getting into your Bible study about light and Satan and all that stuff that you dug into all those years ago. The bright and morning star, is that what it was?
Yeah, Saturn. And when Saturn comes up at a certain time of year, they call it the bright morning star.
I think that's Venus, isn't it?
Oh, Venus? Yeah, it is Venus, isn't it?
I mean, Satan's name was the light bearer, or the
yeah, he had
angel of light, or
he had several different names.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Rosie.
Hi, Rosie.
Oh my goodness. Nice to see you, Rosie. How is everything down there?
Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. How's Tennessee? They forbid people from going into the Grand Canyon. Many Egyptian. Yep, hieroglyph. Yeah. So they're hiding stuff there too. And
if you guys ever watch the Adjustment Bureau, there's a line that stuck out in that movie for me about choice or free will. It says, yeah, you have free will, you have choice, but not like how you think. Your life is directed, your life is controlled, but you might be able to get up in the morning and choose whether you're going to have this cereal or that cereal, or you're going to have a glass of orange juice or a glass of milk with your meal. But as far as everything else in how your life is predicted or mapped out, you have no choice in that.
Hi, Jessica.
The little things you can choose all you want. And it gives you the illusion that you have free will, that you can.
Yeah, that's part of the lies that we've been growing up with all these years, are saying we have freedom and this and that, but no, we don't. They've been taking that away little by little by little. Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. And welcome in, Jessica. What's with Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries?
Hi, Jessica. You snuck in. I didn't see you sneak in.
You didn't hear me say hi, Jessica?
I don't know what I was doing. That's
I
twice now
know.
you said a
Do
word.
I have to talk louder?
Maybe you said it while you probably said it while I was talking.
What a trip, this life. It's getting more trippier too.
Jessica had a great show today with
Yes, she
Barry Littleton, and talking about is it Dr. Allen? I don't want to say it wrong, but when he found the alien in the woods.
Jessica, while you're in here, Dark Hour, is it Dark Hour Paranormal? And you've had him on the show. He has long hair. Look him up. He did a show on Dr. Reed. It was about a month ago. So look up. And I was surprised because I heard about this back in 06, 07, somewhere around there. Wasn't it, girl, on Coast to Coast?
Yeah, we were watching it. Well, I think we listened
to it on Coast to Coast. So
I know I listened to the original Art Bell.
Yeah. And then I dug down finding videos of him and the bracelet that he's got, that he can disappear and go into different portals and stuff. But yeah, you got to check out Dark Hour's interview. And he actually had him on his show. And I just kind of went, whoa, I didn't even know the guy was alive. He hasn't been around for years. And all of a sudden, Dark Hour had him on, and it was a very good show. So yeah, it was a good show today, Jessica. Oh, okay. LIB was mentioning that earlier. Yep. So yeah, that's a really interesting story. And he said he still has that bracelet. If you go down and look into more of his story, he said he still has that bracelet. Oh, very good rabbit hole.
Yeah, great story.
I like sexy dolphin talk. So yeah, I'm glad that's coming back out, Jessica, because yeah, we've known about it since around 07, 08, because we used to listen to Coast every single night when we went to bed. And he was on, and that was fascinating.
So we have a couple new things tonight. We're going to talk about a UFO sighting for the day.
Ooh.
And we have cryptid history for on this day. And we also have a weird and interesting fact for this day. So we got like 2 or 3 things. And then plus Jane found or discovered, somebody else talking about it, some weird things behind the Sistine Chapel mural.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
And that's cryptid related.
Well, I've been staying up super late, just binge watching a bunch of shows. I mean, I found this channel, JT started it. I found him, and then he has guests on there. So I like them. So I subscribe to their channel, binge watch a bunch of their shows. And it's like 4 a.m, and I go to bed. And Jessica, I was in your chat, but I was half awake and still drinking coffee and didn't type in till end. Like you said, you go in there in the middle of a show, you're saying hi to 800 people. And
800, I think she had 200 something in there today. I don't know.
And I still needed coffee and be alert. But yeah, I was in there. But yeah, I just been staying up late, just going down these rabbit holes. And this has been so fun. Finding new maps, all those, some of these, new maps, like, ooh, that's interesting.
But it's amazing that, what Jane showed me, and I never thought about it, is on the Sistine Chapel that it looks like cryptids.
Somebody in chat even brought this guy up. It's on J Dreamer Z. Dwarfy probably watches him. But Jay Dreamer, he did a show the other day on Gog and Magog. And so it was in the middle of his show that he was showing this thing that we're going to show you guys. And I kind of went, oh my gosh. So it was, I mean, the things that they have on these old murals, you really got to wonder, like, okay, they did these back in the 15, 16, 17, 1800s. Why are these creatures on some of these murals?
Oh, the Sistine Chapel.
It says I've
Sistine
watched.
Chapel is way before the 1800s. I mean, that was Michelangelo.
Then why are they painting these creatures if they were a myth?
I don't know.
I think they were alive and around back then.
We think it looks like a cryptid, but maybe it was supposed to be portraying a demon. I don't know. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, but I think it looks more like a Bigfoot. I want to say it.
Yes, we do, Jessica. But they've been fun.
Well, we might as well bring it up.
Bring it up. Because I think this Jay Dreamer show was either 2 days ago. And when he came across this part, I went, what? That is in a Catholic church mural? I don't. All right, talk about a new rabbit hole. We've seen these creatures on old maps, but why are they in these cathedrals? And especially this picture. We had to screenshot it from the tablet, by the way. Or no, you actually went and found it.
I went and downloaded it.
Yeah.
I found it on a different site, so I downloaded it. So
red pill.
So there's the back wall. As you're walking into the church, you go down the main center between the pews, and you end up going through a set of doors or gates.
And you did
say
kind
of like an arbor looking thing.
You did say what church this is?
The Sistine Chapel.
Sistine Chapel, not 16. Sistine.
So this is the wall, and the ceiling and the side walls are all painted by Michelangelo. But if you look, we're gonna concentrate on this area right here. I
couldn't believe he showed this and went, oh my gosh.
And this crucifix, or the cross with Jesus on it, is actually a statue outside of the painting. So it's kind of weird, because when I went and looked up the pictures of just the back wall, it didn't have the crucifixion on it. So I thought, man, this isn't right. What's going on?
I'm just glad I realized
this is the overall picture.
I'm just glad I realized what video. Like I said, I've been watching so many videos, tons and tons, and I did remember which one. So we looked at it together, and I went, "Look at this thing that's on this mural."
So this is the same picture, but it cropped in on the crucifixion, and we're concentrating on this hill right here. Can you see those guys right there?
And Jessica and Brown Dwarf, you can help. I think one looks like a Guggly. One's definitely a Sasquatch, but is the other one, doesn't it look more like a Pugwedgie or Guggly? I mean, but the one's definitely a Sasquatch.
At least that's what it looks like to me. So if you guys can see that, let us know. What do you guys think?
But he looks like he's scared or something. I still think the other one's doing something to him. I don't know, but why would Sasquatch and that other thing be in a cave behind? I mean, in this this mural, that's definitely a Squatch.
I mean, this isn't like the old maps were showing sea monsters and blemmings and all this. This is a mural during biblical times in a church, in a cathedral, a chapel.
Would that be a cave or a portal? I mean, but does that thing have a horn sticking out of its head?
I don't know if that's a horn or what that is, but it could be.
And yeah, the Sasquatch looks scared. I don't.
Maybe he's having a bad hair day. I don't know.
Mountain devils.
I mean, it could be anything. It could be. Very good. That's very good, Jessica.
Oops. I got Like get rid of. Okay.
Maybe
Oh
he's
my
got some
god.
lube in his hair or some hair gel or something.
The one is definitely a squash, but I think the other one, isn't it a gugwe that has the more of the snout, gugwedgie, whatever?
I don't know, but you go from this, which all has angelic
Can you
images and
can you fi-
Christ and angels and
can you find where they're hanging on to skin? Like
yeah, that's right here.
yeah, it's like okay, were these clones? Were these masks? Uh, just like I think the Greys actually have a bodysuit. It looks like they're ripping off bodysuits of some of these things, and then they're holding up like this skin thing.
There's all kinds of weird images. So I'm going to have to go in there and I'm going to have to screen capture or
Yeah,
download each individual panel so
there's
we can
probably,
go over it and actually look to see what else is weird. But
and
that is
that's
that is
just the wall. That's not just the ceiling. I mean, the ceiling is just filled with all these paintings and stuff. But
yeah, right here where the arches and these legs are is where the ceiling starts. And then the side panels all the way down the whole side of the chapel or the cathedral is filled with all these panels of pictures of saints and images of Bible. But
Tammy, I'm
I mean,
sorry. Hi, Tammy.
if it's
Tammy's
talking
not here.
about angels in biblical times, why would you put this image in
I
your?
know. That's why I'm saying even these old maps and stuff that we've discussed with Jessica, there's reasons why these creatures and things were on these. They were around and they were probably mingling with everyone and got along with people. I don't know. I still, if this old world is a mystery, I have a feeling dragons and stuff like that was part of this old world also. And then this reset in the 1800s. That's like Dennis said that. Dennis said dinosaurs started, what did he say, 1860 or something like that, dinosaur was a new term. Well, that's a part of this reset. They don't want us to know that dragons were flying around in the old world.
Right.
And I have a feeling these creatures and stuff were on this land and maybe, they knew the reset was coming and they all went to inner earth. I don't know. It does seem like there was a legend. I did hear something on a video that they didn't want to see the downfall of humans, and it would made them sad so much that they went in the inner earth. I don't know. That's so many different lures and mysteries of the inner earth that they knew a reset was coming, and they didn't want to see all of us go downhill, which we have, and deceived. And
Hi,
they would.
Tammy. I don't. I'm sure Jane probably
Yeah,
said an idea, but I probably didn't. Hi,
I said hi,
Tammy.
Tammy. Yeah, Tammy snuck in.
So yeah, that was an interesting find, and I think I've even seen those pictures of the back wall and the other walls, but I never paid attention to that particular part or zoomed in on that.
Well, look how many people probably don't pay attention and go up and look at these little details like, why is there a hairy man in a cave? I mean, I'm glad I found that watching Jay Dreamers. I think it's Jay Dreamer Z. It was a really good show. When he showed
It's
that
like
part, I went, whoa, Sasquatch.
it's like everything we find or everybody talks about is like, why is it like this? Why? Just tell me, somebody explain to me so I can understand.
And so much evil at the Vatican. Yeah, I think the Vatican and the Smithsonians, the Masons, all the elite, they all know about all this, and they've been stealing artifacts and tearing down buildings and lying about us. And I'm sorry, but during the Depression, there's no way they built these massive buildings in the Depression or the pioneer days or cowboy days. Like I said, where's all the saloons in some of these old world pictures?
So isn't it weird that since the Pope opened up the portals or did the rituals at the portals, that now he's sick, and some people are saying he's on his deathbed and he's not going to make it, and others are saying that he's in critical condition. And
well, didn't they say one of the doors he opened, he did have a look on his face of like fear?
I don't know.
I mean, this is only February. He just opened those doors 2 months ago. Who knows? Was there a lot of radiation in there made him sick? They did call them portals. When you walk into a portal, I mean,
Well, I give him a benefit of the doubt. Portals can be used as doorways, or doors can be considered portals. So, but were they actual portals? Were they actually going to hell? Were they actually opening up to some other dimension or something else? And
but it was weird they called them portals. I don't know. Yeah, and Claudette, yeah, we said he's probably already dead. They just haven't told us yet. Look how long the Queen was dead. So yeah, he's probably already dead. And what did you say? What is the story about the last pope or whatever?
Yeah, there's the story, especially Malachi Martin talked about the last pope, and
I thought this one was supposed to be the last pope.
I don't know. Well, I think Malachi Martin talks about the black pope, and now I don't think it's necessarily the skin color, but like the dark and evil pope. But there's also the thing is, if he's hidden from us for X amount of time, like the Queen, how do we know they're not going to bring a clone back if they say his health got better? They're already saying there's a clone of the Pope anyway, that he doesn't look the same as when he first took his office for the church.
Well, just like Robin said, the Pope was seen as a hologram over a year ago, disappearing into the window off the building.
Right.
Maybe he slipped into a portal and he's gone.
I don't know. Maybe God came back and got him. Say, hey, listen here, jerk.
If we only knew all the stuff that the Vatican claimed and collected, and the Smithsonian, and I mean, what are they hiding? Why don't they want us to know about all these old artifacts and stuff? No. I still don't think it's just because they don't want us to know about them.
I mean, I keep waiting. And what's the deal with the church at the Vatican that when the Pope dies, they put a smoke bomb with a certain color in the chimney so it comes up in the air so everybody can tell what it is. There's red, there's white, there's black, might be green.
It's probably a satanic ritual.
And those colors, if you look up in biblical times, if you look up those colors, they're associated with the 4 horsemen.
Or Osiris Green Pope. That'd be good. A real black Pope one. Oh yeah, bring back the Book of Enoch. Yeah. There's some good stuff in some of those old books.
Well, Enoch, since you brought that up, that's what I talked about, the map or the world being upside down as far as how we view it today on our modern maps. It's listed in Enoch about the doorways or the portals that are in the east, west, south, and north. And he describes, if you're looking at the map, the directions, and it's flipped upside down from the way we have our maps today. And that's in the Book of Enoch. We could probably do a show on that too, or a segment sometime, because I saved diagrams on it and pictures.
You found that on TikTok? On the upside down?
Yeah, I think so.
Or flip it upside down?
I showed it to you when I found it, or I sent the videos to you.
Smoke runs white when a new pope is selected.
Yeah, they also have a color when the Pope dies that they release. And
freaky or funny.
Then they have a color when the Pope is like you said, I think when the Pope is selected, they have a color. When he dies, he has a color. I don't know. It's weird. I guess that's one way of letting everybody in the Vatican or the whole vicinity of Vatican City know. But I mean, seems kind of weird. Don't they have email? Don't they have a chat room? I don't know.
Dwarf says there is a book called Enoch, a Bigfoot story. And he said it heard it's good. Where in the world would we find something like that? Amazon?
I don't know. But we talked, well, you brought it up and we've talked about it when when you go in the story about gosh dang, I'm remembering the hairy arm, where one brother has a pelt like fur, and his father's blind, and he rubs his hand on it to tell which one he's talking to, and they said it's like an animal skin. So how do we know that brother wasn't a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot?
See, that
Or
never
some kind of cryptid?
that never resonated with me when we used to go to church and you'd hear that in a sermon. That never resonated with me, because if the man was blind, he had better senses elsewhere. He would know a difference between an extra hairy human than an animal fur.
And it also,
He would know that was animal hair, and he would know that.
well, and the weird thing is that they
that
took
never resonated with me.
the weird thing is they took the pelt off of an animal
Right.
to put on the brother to
And then-
pretend he was the brother that was going to inherit the family fortune, or the
Is that
so
why-
so
that why-
that was animal hair too. So you have two instances where they're talking in the same story about animal hair.
Is that why there is a Sasquatch in the church mural? Oh,
Yeah, Jackie's got it. Jacob and Esau.
yeah, I mean
And he
was
also
probably-
talks
he was probably
about
a Sasquatch.
And also talks about the brother, the hairy brother,
Hmm.
about the smell, and so he could tell the way, like a wild person or a hunter or somebody out in the wilderness all the time. So that would fit Sasquatch too. And maybe that's why that brother, different than the other brother, married and was with the other wild women, or the other tribe of people that the mother and them didn't like. So maybe that's why he got along with them, because he was not like the humans. He was more like the wild people.
Well, so I think that's another reason why they got rid of all these apocrypha books, because they were teaching more of what Jesus' teachings were, and they had a narrative. Rome was in power. Even our regular church, the churches that we have now were based off of Catholics, and we broke off or whatever. They did not want that teaching out that's in these books, because of their narrative of twisting the stories around, and they wanted to teach us the way they wanted it to be taught. And that's, if that makes any sense. And if you look down that rabbit hole, the Catholics and stuff are in charge of universities and seminaries, and so these pastors and stuff are taught what they're supposed to teach in a church.
Oh,
If that makes any sense.
yeah.
So they didn't want these books out there to teach this different stuff. And a lot of them are from Essenes. And I went down that rabbit hole too. The Essenes, something like that, Essenes.
The Essenes.
And they said Jesus wasn't an Essene because he was a Nazarene. So the Essenes were more into nature and growing things and love and getting along. And so his teachings were, based off of a lot of the Essenes. And they were kind of like hippie outcasts of the traditional religious Jews.
I can relate to that.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, they got rid of a bunch of those books because they knew that they had this twist that they wanted the church to be taught this way. And yeah, put pagan stuff in it and this and that. And
is that how you get the song from Aerosmith, Walk This Way? So since we're talking about hairy things,
oh,
that's never a good way to segue into a story. But since we're talking about hairy things,
that takes two goats.
On March 4th, coming up, I found this weird.
You're shaving your beard.
I think this is going to be the closest show we're going to probably have to discuss it. Well, we could probably do it the next Wednesday also, but I just thought I'd bring it up tonight.
Walk like an Egyptian. Ted said, steady now, girl.
So here on March 4th, 1989, a racing buffalo named Harvey Wallbanger made his first appearance in the California at Golden Gates Fields. So he raced this cowboy on his horse, and they had a bet. This guy bet that he could beat this horse on a buffalo. With it owned, trained, and ridden by T.C. Thorstenson, Harvey Wallbanger raced against a quarter horse named Two-Eyed Bert, ridden by cowboy Jack Cannell. An exciting 110-yard sprint. So this is 110 yards. So it's like, you know how in school you used to have the 110 rate, you know, the relays and the races, you know,
Yeah.
110. The powerful buffalo edged out his competitor by half a length. The 8-year-old 2,000-pound buffalo clocked an impressive time of 19.4 seconds, securing his 21st win out of 26 races. So he raced 26 times and won 21 of them against horses.
I'm trying to keep up in
I just
chat.
thought I know it has nothing really to do with what we talk about, but I just thought it was cool that somebody rode a buffalo in a race against a horse.
That's funny. Wow. And I'm probably missing comments. I mean, it is hard doing a show and still trying to keep an eye on every single comment.
So there's your weird and interesting fact for the day.
Money's on the buffalo.
I evidently, I mean, that was obviously a good bet. He's won 21 out of 26 races.
Oh, wow. See, you accidentally came across that.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of hairy things.
That was a good segue. I don't know.
Oh, wow. I'm still laughing.
Yeah, we're losing control of the show already, and we've only been on for an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Two Shadows. I didn't say hi.
Yeah, I saw Two Shadows earlier. I think, hello, Two Shadows. Oh my goodness.
So we had the Buffalo Harry report of the day. So there you go. That kind of tied into our Bigfoot and
yeah, our Bigfoot Christian mural. Bigfoot is in a Christian mural in a cathedral church. Where is that church at?
it's over in Europe, the Sistine Chapel. Actually that movie. I love that movie about Michelangelo and the Pope arguing back and forth while Michelangelo is laying on his back, painting above everything. He spills red paint on the Pope. Now, isn't that significant that he spilled red paint in the movie on the Pope?
Is that the only church he painted in?
Oh, he's famous for sculptures, paintings all over.
Oh, that's a new rabbit hole. Not just that mural, just finding other murals in other cathedral churches and zoom in and see what in the world these creatures are.
I mean, besides that, you know, you have Michelangelo, you have Leonardo da Vinci and all of his weird stuff. I mean, there's that whole period is just full of crazy stuff that maybe it made sense to them. Maybe there was a meaning that if we lived back then and we saw it, we'd automatically know what it meant. I mean, look at pictures or paintings people do today or have done in our lifetime. It's like you look at it, it's like, what the heck is that? What's that supposed to be? And you kind of look at it. It's like, is it upside down? Does it need to be turned? Does it?
Yes, Sistine, Sistine. You guys can look that up and find that mural and zoom in and see the little Sasquatch.
Yeah, you can go in. They have virtual tours that you can go in and like zoom right into whatever you want to look on, whether it's the sidewalls, the ceiling, whatever. That's what I did today. And so there you go.
Yeah, people were more spiritual and they believed more in the supernatural back then.
Absolutely.
They took away a bunch of our supernatural stuff, and we're living our life the way we were told to live and what we're supposed to believe.
Well, whether you're Bible believing or whatever you claim to be or whatever you follow or whatever, but you still have to look at the text. Just look at the spiritual and supernatural stuff that they wrote about. I mean, you have the witches of Endor, you have Jesus walking through walls, you have Lazarus brought from the death. I mean, there's just so much in there that they're telling you.
Mhm.
Besides the religious aspect, take all that away and just read the story like you were reading any kind of book or novel, and look at those instances and what they say about it, and especially the books that they eliminated out of the canon, like Enoch and all them other books.
Well, I heard on a video. Oh, hold on, let me try to. I just lost it again. Gosh darn it! It's like you're talking about one thing and then it turns just a little, and I had a thought of the beforehand.
Right.
I'm
good at that.
Yeah, I know you are. Gosh darn it! Well, then what were you talking about? Start over.
That's my special talent.
Oh, this person was saying, okay, we all are awake to the Masons, Illuminati, the elite, the powers that be, Vatican, all those that Hollywood people, blah, 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 blah. They're worshiping Satan. They're doing satanic rituals. We all know that. We all know what they're doing behind the scenes. So if that's the case, he's fighting against someone. It's not just us. He's fighting against a good side. So that kind of proves, okay, there is the good side. There is a creator, and I do believe in Jesus, and he did come down here and he's taught us the way to get out of here and to get out of the matrix and to get to heaven. By the way, he was showing us and teaching us. Am I going to preach to you guys and say, you must be saved? No, we're not going to do that. But you do know that, we do have very strong beliefs.
And space penguins.
And space penguins. And we're trying to put all this together and, just trying to make sense of what kind of world are we living in?
I don't know.
I still say the secret societies and in the Vatican, they do know the truth behind this history and where all these buildings came from and stuff. And they all know the truth. That's probably the secrets that only the higher up, the high levels know about.
Who knows? I mean, it's hard enough living through this crazy world now with all the changing times and stuff, let alone trying to figure out what people back in the Middle Ages or even before that were thinking or trying to tell us.
Medieval era. Those buildings look enlightened.
They are enlightened.
They
glowed.
Yeah, and I don't think they're made by humans like Dwarfy said. They're angelic technology or something.
Not all. Even before electricity, isn't it amazing that if they had free energy and they used plasma technology that they actually glowed? I mean, look at the movies with Frankenstein where they're back in castles and times when there was peasants and all that stuff, and Frankenstein made the monster, and he had electricity from lightning or coming from the ether down to power his machines. And back then, where did he get all the machinery? Where did he get all the equipment to make machineries?
Mm-hmm. Boy, we were, and it is kind of a shock when you how was I deceived? How was I fooled? You do I've been living my whole life thinking this, and you just now find out, if you use your common sense, that don't make sense. And you realize, oh my gosh, we just overlooked so much.
Brown Dwarf answered my question.
Radio Shack?
Obviously, he went to Radio Shack. Or would it be Radio Hut? Would it be Radio Hut? Radio. Yeah. Maybe it was Radio Cave. You went to the Radio Cave. And then two shadows said obviously the Goliath wasn't the only giant. He had brothers. We know that as well. So there's a long history of giants. I mean, we talked about with a brown dwarf, well, Bigfoot dwarf, about South America and the Olmecs and the giants that were there. And there, if you listen or if you read the text, that there were 6 giants that survived a flood. Now, whether it was Noah's flood or a reset flood, whatever, they survived. And they're the ones that came up into North America, whether it was California, Mississippi Valley, all those places where explorers came and visited, even Vikings, and they have tales of giants being here in North America. Well, guess where they came from? Those are the ones that came from either Goliath biblical times or from the ones from South America that came up and populated North America. And every account matches for the explorers where they are. And in this text that came out of South America from the Aztecs, told the exact places where these giants went to, and that's exactly where the explorers that supposedly discovered America came across giant people.
Well, look at all the giant doors and all these old world buildings too. I think they were living in peace with everybody. It's just like everyone lived in harmony, and the giants and dragons and creatures, and it seemed like everything was here. And that's why we had giant doors. There had to be, and then in order to hide this history, they're getting rid of any evidence of the giants going, oh, they weren't here. No, they weren't here. We just wanted to build these big doors. There was no such thing as giants.
I mean, it's weird. It's just like, you're reading history, you're going back, you're digging through it, and everything you find somehow contradicts itself. It's just like reading a book and you're going along the storyline, you flip the page and it's like, well, what the hell is this? This isn't right. This just doesn't make sense. Then you go back and you read what you read before and it's like, no, wait, that doesn't make sense either. What am I reading? What am I digging into?
Yeah.
The Blemmies. I like the Blemmies.
Blemmies. I know. I think the Blemmies are one of my favorites.
I know it's Jessica's favorite. I think she likes
the Blemmies. And why were the Blemmies on a lot of these old maps?
I mean, I don't even know of what's the word in ancient Rome or Greece. I don't even know any mythological things that were Blemmies. It doesn't just, I mean, they talked about the gods and all that stuff, and Homer talked about all this stuff, but not the Blemmies. None of them talked about the Blemmies that I know of.
I didn't
hear. Here they are on the maps.
I never knew about Blemmies or heard of them until the Jessica show on these maps. She introduced me to Blemmies, or you did, or something with the maps on her show. That was the first time I've ever heard of Blemmies. That was so interesting.
Wow. But it's so weird. So obviously there was tales, just like we talk about, not tales necessarily, but stories or experiences people have had, whether it's Dogman, Sasquatch, Lizard Men, whatever. Obviously that was going on during that time with dragons and harried wild men and dog men, because these maps portray races of dog men. They
St. Christopher.
Yeah, they have
St. Christopher's a dog man.
Right.
So how old is that? I mean, St. Christopher was that during the Greek mythology too? With pictures of him, all these old paintings and stuff. He's a dog.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's just hard to fathom that they were making maps that were correct as far as nations, or at least for their time, what they understood. And then they'd have regular stuff on the maps, whether it's buildings or people or whatever. Then all of a sudden they'd have a giant in one part of the land, or they'd have a a dragon or a sea serpent or a blemmy mixed into the maps. Like, really? You're doing a map, you're drawing, everything looks good, then all of a sudden, what's this? So obviously they had stories and tales and folklores and experiences. So I think they're describing stuff that they actually saw and experienced, or somebody did.
Well, like they say, Greek mythology is just a myth. Well, there's truth behind these myths. They're saying that just like they're saying, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. Don't go down that rabbit hole, you idiot. Just live your normal life and ignore what's behind the scenes. Ignore the man behind the curtain.
These Catholic churches, or any religion, actually, I don't mean to necessarily pick on Catholics, but that's usually where all the cathedrals and all the ancient stuff is.
Well, they took all the cathedrals.
Well, I'm just saying,
buildings. Yep.
You go to church, or you listen to it, and they say don't do the supernatural, stay away from that, it's bad, it's evil. But yet the churches are the ones where we find these maps that have these blemmies and dragons and sea serpents. So it's like, okay, you tell us no, don't pay attention to this, but then you have the maps that have the stuff on it,
and they
or
find
the books or the ancient texts.
And they find them in an old room or something like that. Like, it was there during the old world period. And then we find them and go, oh, what's on these maps?
And the weird thing is, well, not weird, but we talked about it, the library at Hertford, that we showed the map last week. And I brought up the chain books of the scripts.
Yeah.
There's 298 old textbooks or old scripts there at that church, just that church alone. So who knows, all throughout Europe, all throughout Italy, Rome, where the Vatican, well, we know the Vatican's hiding all that stuff, but look at all the other stuff that is possibly inside all these other cathedrals we just don't know about.
There was all the book burning they did. It was probably map burning. Little by little. It's kind of like a frog in water. They had to do this little by little. But then all of a sudden, we've been waking up and getting little downloads of having a better mind, common sense. And you're going, what?
So I'm since we're on the biblical story or subject, I'm slowly piecing together maps from the Grand Canyon all the way through to Illinois, the Mississippi Valley, Missouri Valley area, and beyond that, where they talk about where Egypt and the Nile and the stories of all that area and Garden of Eden and all the I mean, why do they have mountain peaks or bluffs in the Grand Canyon that kind of look like pyramids, kind of look like statues, but they're named like Isis and Iris and all these temples that you would take the names from Egypt, or we would through our school or our history that we were taught all these years. But here it is in the Grand Canyon in North America. And then you get down, go following that, and then you get into the Midwest where you have where the eclipse went through, where you have all these cities from Egypt and that whole area, Cairo's and
Little Egypt,
the lower part of Illinois, southern part of Illinois is called Little Egypt and has been as far as I remember. And I'm sure my parents said it was as far as they remember, it was always called Little Egypt. So why is it Little Egypt? Why is it called that? And why are the maps from Egypt matching up with North America?
Yeah, some of that stuff was in a video that I watched last night about all those areas they called named after the Egyptian gods. And then was the Mississippi actually the Niles?
Yeah, so go out there and find the maps or the images or find the videos where they talk about the eclipse where it made the X across the U.S. and in southern Illinois or that area, which was called Little Egypt. and look at the paths and look at all the names of the towns that are on that eclipse path and tell me what you guys see.
Yeah, we're coming up to that year anniversary of the last
Isn't there?
April 8th, I think it was.
We got the X already. Isn't there supposed to be something that draws a line through this?
No, we had one, and then the small one, and then the one last year made the line up to make the A. So there is a like a V.
Oh, okay.
And then last year went up and made the line and made the A.
All right.
So there was 3 total. And I thought there was one. I got to look that back up. I thought they said the early 1800s, and that caused an earthquake down around the St. Louis area in that same area, right? You remember hearing that?
I don't know. I hear so much
stuff. The same eclipse happened. I thought it was early 1800s, and it caused a big, huge. And then that's because they thought there was going to be an earthquake here, on the Manhattan Fault, and it hasn't happened yet. But it hasn't been a year yet either.
So in other news, talking about eclipses and stuff, the 28th, we have the 7-planet alignment in the sky, the night sky.
Is that on the West Coast or East Coast? Do you know?
I don't. I posted the article on our Facebook group and Midwest Night Watchers on Facebook.
So I didn't know if I was supposed to look, this direction, or if we're looking at the sunset area. I want to try to see if our cameras can pick that up on this. So
there'll be 7.
Know if it's in the west or the east.
So 7 planets will be lining up. So there you go.
I'll be right back and make a new coffee.
What? So there you go, guys. You're getting everything tonight. You're getting Sasquatches and paintings. You're getting buffaloes that race horses and
a Bible sermon.
Well, we didn't do a sermon, but we talked about some things. The other thing that's interesting is that they say that the Nile actually runs the wrong way, or the flow of the water. So if you flip the map around, like they said, then the Nile would flow the right way. So that's kind of interesting.
There.
That was part of that video too. So
there is it. Before Atlantis and Mu sank, they were used as overland ways to get the SA and NA. Huh?
What?
Huh? I don't understand what two shadows is saying.
Oh, I wasn't reading. I'm sorry.
Let me put it up. What's SA and NA?
There are theories that before Atlantis and Mu sank, they were used as overland ways to get to SA and South America, North America.
Oh, okay. Freaky. If you flip the map around, won't that shake us up some?
Yeah, it's like the snow globe. It's like the snow globe we play at Christmas online, where you shake it and all the people going, "Wow!" They're flying all over inside the snow globe.
I love that.
So if we have a firmament and you shake the earth, we're going to fly around just like the people in that snow globe game.
Oh my, Gemini.
Where's Gemini? Yeah, Gemini Moon.
You did sneak in. Gemini, hi. I'm so sorry. I guess I'm reading the people's comments and not seeing who's saying it.
You guys need to ring the doorbell when you come in. We
need that when somebody new comes in the chat. Ding dong. And we'd have a screaming goat every time somebody comes in.
If we do like all the young kids and go to what is it? The other platform, I can't think of it now. Twitch, you can set up where it does ding dong. It'll put their name or whatever right up on the screen without you having to do anything.
Yeah, Jim and I snuck in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah,
We got four people looking and watching in Rumble tonight, but
we're live on Rumble.
Nobody's yeah, we're live on Rumble. Nobody's talking over there. All the action's over here on
Hi Rumble.
Over here on YouTube's where all the action is.
That's right. Last week I had Rumble chat up over here on a different tablet. Man, how many tablets do we need?
I don't know. We're gonna have to have like 5 monitors all wrapped around us, and
you got Jessica's show and Brown Dwarf, and double chatting and 2 people live at the same time.
Right.
Modding over here, modding over there. Let alone watching all these crazy cameras. Oh, I forgot we are live. Oops, everybody's just staring at an empty room.
Oh, Jim and I watched the rest of Forbidden Planet. I was tempted to re-download it or get the movie again and replay it like Friday night or something, just to replay it so everybody can watch the ending.
Oh, that was last week's?
The one that quit on me, or
that one. Oh yeah, the one that was a bad file or something. Yeah, we had to stop trying to work it, and I just told him, I said, click on something else. I said, let's move on.
Yeah, she yelled at me. Can you believe that?
Oh, well, you kept trying it and trying it.
Here I am stressed out because the movie is not working, and she's over there yelling at me.
I'm not yelling at you. I knew you were frustrated, and I said it's got to be a corrupt file. I said let's just put on Planet, Lost in Space or something. But yeah, that's coming up Friday night, Saturday night, guys. Go over to Rumble only. Maybe I don't know what you got planned. You got more cartoons or Lost in Space night, or
I don't know. I was just trying to figure out tonight's show, let alone Friday, Saturday. Then we got Sunday show. I got to do some stuff for a Sunday show. Then I got Monday show of Dennis Carroll. So it's like,
ooh,
I don't know.
And this Sunday is Latchkey Hustle and Bigfoot, Brown Dwarfy.
That's right. Talking right along in old world, just like we've been talking all night.
Yep. Old world.
Robin watched Forbidden Planet too. That is a good movie. I like that movie.
Well, we watched about 3/4 of it until
it was almost done.
Locked up. Yeah,
it was almost done. It just didn't show the part where the invisible monster leaving giant footprints was walking around.
Freaky said he had a movie like that a few nights ago, and every website they had, the video was corrupted. Yeah. So you never had a chance to really find it again, the download, to see if...
I haven't even looked because I figured I'd wait till it got closer to decide even if we were going to play it again. I thought we would, just for everybody to see the ending, but maybe people are going out and watching it on their own, so maybe we'll just pick a different movie. I don't know.
You got something in mind?
Oh, I always got movies in mind. I got a big list of movies.
So what are you thinking about this week?
I don't know.
You're not going to let us know?
No. You guys will have to tune in to find out.
That's no fun.
Yeah, it is. That's all the fun.
So long as you're picking your nose, sir. Good one, Freaky.
So what do you guys want to talk about now? We've been on a lot of subjects already.
We've got, don't we have a creepy acre or creepy history or something?
We do. We have
something creepy.
We have a couple creepy things, and I have a UFO report. We already did the interesting fact thing.
Oh, as long as you're not picking your nose. He didn't have he said he meant to put not in there. Not picking your nose.
Well, you better start reading that stuff right.
No, I read it right. He corrected again. He says, dang, I was meant to say not picking your nose. It wasn't me. Second coffee time. That's what I did. I just topped my coffee off a little bit. I didn't want you guys to hear it. The Keurig's just right there. No one Freaky or somebody, they say, was Jane going to the bathroom?
Right there.
I mean, you even said it like, "What's that noise?" I'm going, "It's my Keurig."
I don't know. Sounds like it's possessed.
Wrote even darn words and fingers. You should have said fangers.
So I think we stopped on this guy last week. Or no, was it? Wait a minute. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we stopped on this guy last week.
Yeah, we had that guy last week.
The horny goat looking thing.
That come through good?
Yeah, it did. Actually.
All right.
That was really nice.
Ooh.
Except to me, that's more of a UFO sound, but
Oh.
that's a robot sound or something. I don't know. That's a spaceship sound. You need to come up with a creepy sound.
Yeah, well, how about this creepy one?
Well, that's close. That might be what that guy sounds like.
It's supposed to be a hungry goat.
Oh.
Oh my.
I'll let you guys read this. I think this is the one we read last week about creepy history on February 18th, 1996.
1996?
Yeah.
So, and then the next one.
And
then last week to this week. It sounds like Chewbacca. Yeah, it does sound like Chewbacca.
So then I think we have one that says 50 years ago today, while the two boys Masato Kawana and Katsushira Yakamata were the only ones to see the craft's occupants. Another classmate of theirs, Ichiro Minegishi, reported seeing a bright object flying towards the Hanoi housing estate while he was riding in a car with his parents near the Kofo bypass. It was approximately 30 minutes before the boys claimed to have discovered the UFO. The beings would go on to be dubbed the Kofu fanged humanoids. So there you go. Kofu fanged humanoids. Yeah, let's see. I did that wrong. So that's what I just read. Man, I'm all mixed up.
See, that's what we need to figure out over on this computer.
So there you go. That's the story that we're going to read here. That was just a description from Creepy Acres about this event in the 23rd of February, 1975.
It almost looks like that one robot that is in some of these movies that you had. You know what I'm talking about? It's not Robot on Lost in Space, the other robot.
Well, no.
Oh, he's like he's got a hat on. Never mind. Now he don't look like it. Oh.
Yeah, he looks kind of creepy.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
And he's got fangs.
3 fangs?
I don't know. It just says fangs, so they just drew it up how they thought. It has claws, evidently. Some kind of.
And no, I don't have a howling sound. I'm still working on sounds. I need to get back on.
Look at it. Look at his feet.
I'll get back on there and add some more sounds to this thing. But yeah, we do need a howling sound.
So this says, today in creepy history, 23rd February 1975, 7 p.m., Kofu, Yakamanashi, Japan. 2 boys, Masato Kawano and Kasashiro Yamahata, both 7, spotted 2 orange lights in the sky. One light flies towards Mount Atago. I don't know.
Atago?
While the others drops into the vineyard behind the nearby Hanoi It's either Hanoi or Hanoi housing estate. The boys go to investigate and find a flying saucer covered with strange symbols. Suddenly, a 4-foot tall humanoid in a silvery suit exits the craft. Inside, the boys spot a second being. The creatures have large pointed ears. Maybe it was Spock. Spock has large pointed ears.
Ooh, it was Spock time traveling.
So it has large pointed ears, dark brown skin, and their heads are covered with so many deep wrinkles that they obscure any facial features except for 3 metal 2-inch long fangs. So it did have 3 fangs.
That's interesting with the 3 fangs.
Right.
Huh.
The 2 bizarre entities seemed unaware of the boys' presence until being outside the craft suddenly spins around, places a hand on Yamamoto's shoulder, and makes a sound like a tape recorder running backwards. That almost sounds like what you were playing, that one sound.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a tape recorder running backwards. The boy faints. Kawano grabs his unconscious friends and retreats. The boys, now both in hysterics, alert their mothers. Both women are skeptical but agree to follow them back to the scene. As they approach the estate, they noticed a bright orange pulsating light in the vineyard. The light intensifies until it is blinding. It then rockets straight up into the night sky and zips away. So that is your creepy history for the 23rd of February. And it happened in the year 1975 in Japan. And I'm not going to say all the names again.
Why not? That was fun.
You can do it.
No, thank you.
You can do it.
I can barely even read it.
You can do
You
it.
can do it. It's blurry to me.
It was blurry?
What to me? Put my granny glasses on, I might read it a little bit.
Oh.
That was good. Yay. Yeah, Freaky said, but this is the 27th. Not yet. It's still the 26th here. You're on Eastern time. We've got 17 minutes. Freaky time slip. Yeah, it was just a time slip, Freaky.
So then we have one for February 24th.
Oh.
I had a different one. Where's the other one?
Nearly 1:45 a.m. here. It's not even midnight yet. It's 11:44.
I gotta look. Well, I'll read this one, but I had another one.
You did?
Yeah, I must not have uploaded it.
See, what's going on? We're sending stuff over to our computers and they're not.
No, I know this one was probably my fault. I just didn't upload it.
Darn it.
So I'm gonna read the headline to this image. It says the 1970s were awash in cryptids and monster sightings. 1972 brought Missouri Momo, while 1973 ushered in Illinois' Enfield horror.
What?
What?
We had horror creatures.
Enfield is the town or the area in Illinois, and they had a cryptid sighting, and it's called the Enfield horror. Was the event?
Yeah, Ted said he's definitely in the 27. Yeah, your hours, your morning.
Well, I guess I just won't read it then. It's out of date.
Yeah, it's out of date. We can't read it now.
Dang it!
Forget it. Throw it away.
Dang it!
Dang it.
So then it continues on. It says in 1977, Massachusetts had its own Dover demon. We need to start writing these names down.
Dover.
The Momo, Dover's demon. They all had their own little names for the areas and the things. So Massachusetts in 1977 had its own Dover demon, but these paled in comparison to the big bird flap, pun intended, that swept over Texas in 1976. Numerous sightings and encounters spread over the months, with multitude of witnesses making this one of the the more credible and fascinating cases in cryptozoology. While descriptions of the creature varied from witness to witness, one thing remained constant. A colossal unidentified winged something had invaded the skies of the Lone Star State. So I'm sure you guys can guess what that is.
A winged something.
Colossal winged.
Colossal winged something. Yeah, I agree with you, dog.
What?
Just give a big sigh.
Well, I hope everybody's enjoying my my reading. I try to.
You're doing good. You're doing better than I would.
Try not to stutter or mispronounce things, but you know. So here's the picture that goes along with that I just read, and then we'll read this text that goes along with Today in Creepy History, 24th of February, 1976. He looks like he needs to eat a cow or a goat or something. He's kind of skinny. So it says at 3:15 p.m., San Antonio, Texas, 3 teachers from the Southside School District, Patricia Bryant, Marcia Dahlberg, and David Brendan, are each driving separately along the isolated Pleasanton Road. Suddenly, a massive shadow falls across their path, and something huge swoops over them. The 3 stop to investigate and spot a massive creature overhead. However, it's not just an oversized bird. Instead, its wings, which span an astonishing 15 to 20 feet, having the structure and appearance of a bat's. That is kind of weird. The legs are also unbird-like, and it seems to glide rather than fly. Soon the trio noticed an identical creature off in the distance, circling a herd of cattle like some kind of monstrous buzzard. Later, Bryant searches the encyclopedia, attempting to identify the avian nightmare that she and her co-workers saw. Disturbingly, the creature that best matches and what they witness is a monster from a long bygone era, the prehistoric pteranodon, or pteranodon, yeah. So there you go. Big giant bird in Texas. Everything's giant in Texas. So February 24th, 1976, that's Today in Creepy History. Brought to you by Creepy Acres. Please go to Creepy Acres on Facebook or wherever you get your social media, and you can find audio profiles and all kinds of stuff for these files and these stories, and they do a really good job. What are you laughing at now?
Two Shadows says, "This is great. Feel like we're all sitting around a rec room." And then Freaky comes out and says, "Two Shadows, why is your room a wreck?"
That's funny.
A rec room. Yeah. Why do they call it a rec room?
I wish I had a voice. If I had a voice like Vincent Price or something, it'd make those stories a lot better.
Oh. Well, would that microphone change your voice into a creepy voice?
I don't know. I could probably play with it. Then I'd probably never get it back to normal.
We still got to figure out that microphone thing.
So that was Creepy History. There you go.
All right.
And I do have a...
Ooh, and then?
It's not even midnight yet.
And then?
We'll be done with all of our stuff.
And then, we can, like you said, if we run out, I can try to pull up some of these pictures. We just can't click on it and go to the next one. I got to do it.
We have pictures, all kinds of pictures we can show, but
pictures.
As far as stories, unless we just tell stuff, rabbit holes that we're digging down. So this is a depiction, and I'll put this up on screen first before reading it this time. So it's probably going to be hard to see, but this is a helicopter. This is a drawing of a helicopter, and these are bright flashes supposedly around the helicopter, and then you have whatever this is down here is what our story is going to be describing. So this is an artist's rendition of this story. And let's see, the article says, if I can read it. So this is UFO history for today. This says, on this day in 1993, February 26th, 1993, 11:50 p.m., Jefferson County Air Unit police officers Kenny Graham and Kenny Downs. That's kind of weird. They're both pilots, or both people are named Kenny. Kenny Graham and Kenny Downs.
Kenny.
They killed Kenny.
Not Kenny.
Kenny Downs are on the helicopter patrol over General Electric Appliance Park in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville. When Graham sees something like a small fire off to his left, Downs shines his spotlight. So it must be at night or during the evening or something. Downs shines his spotlight on the light, which begins to drift back and forth as a spot washes over it. Then it gradually floats up to the helicopter's altitude of 500 feet, where it hovers for a few seconds before moving away at a high speed, making two counterclockwise loops and doubling back to the rear of the helicopter. Graham pushes his speed up to 100 miles per hour. The object passes them and climbs hundreds of feet into the air before descending again towards the helicopter. Graham tries to close the gap, but it eludes him. As it approaches again on a parallel course, the object releases 3 fireballs.
Oh my.
Fearing a collision, Graham banks away. When his move is complete, the light has vanished. Two officers in their squad cars, Mike Smith and Joe Smolinski, also sees the lights and the fireballs. Smolinski tries to follow the lights for a full minute before it disappears. So that is a UFO report for this day, February 26, 1993, in Louisville, Kentucky. So I hope I find more stuff like that. Plus, we got Jane's great uncle's stories that he wrote in columns. We always got those to go back to, and then
we almost did one of those today. But you said
we
you
were going to do one.
Found that UFO report, and I said, that's fine. We'll do one of these next week.
So then we also have Jane's mom's collection of UFO reports from newspapers from the 60s and 70s. And so there's a whole box full of those reports that we can read to stretch it out through all of our stuff.
Oops, too far. Oops.
Oh. Yeah, so I don't know. It says Louisville, Kentucky, but that looked like they were over a forest. Robin mentioned about a jungle, and I don't know where it was. Ricky said he was in Newfoundland that day, so it wasn't him.
Warm weather is here. We got skunks running around all over the place the last couple nights.
Do we really?
Yeah. They've been quiet for a couple months, but yeah, the skunks are definitely out. There's one running around like he's drunk in the backyard. I don't know where he went. So the skunks are back out. Spring must be showing up.
Huh.
And then
And
we'll have,
then
it's
what?
going to be stinky at times. That nasty smell. No, it was like it acted like it just woke up and it was all excited, like, "Oh yeah, I'm awake. Where's all the food?" Running around all over. Oh, Jim and I saw the first robin. You're not too
Oh,
far.
really?
Oh my, I haven't seen a robin yet. Not yet, anyway. Oh, first robin.
Daryl's leaving us. Good night, Daryl.
Oh, good night, Daryl. Thanks for hanging out with us. Human or bird, Gemini moon?
We do have a Robin in chat. Just saying.
And then after that, our purple martins should be showing back up again here pretty soon. And then the spring birds. Hopefully more bunnies.
So since you brought up,
I did not. Not
yes,
my
you
fault.
did.
No, I didn't. What did I bring up?
I don't know.
What'd I do? Yeah, Freaky, a real robin bird. A chickadee. We don't have a whole lot of chickadees around here. When I was a kid, we had tons of chickadees. At my mom's feeder, anyway. Now we've got chickadees down here.
I don't know what I'm doing. It's not cooperating.
Yeah, two shadows. Says we had sun for the past 2 days. Yeah, I think we've had sun for 2 days and let chickens out and the goats out. And when we were around 0 degrees Fahrenheit, those chickens and goats did not go outside. It's finally in the 50s. And the clouds finally went away. That's why I was messing with the camera over here and ignoring our live feed. I had to switch cameras, and the stars are really bright tonight. Got rid of the clouds. No, don't leave this chat and go to 24/7 chat. Shame on you. If I do not have to shovel snow, I'd still have my fingernails. We haven't had much snow to shovel this year.
So there's our outside view. So you don't have to leave to go to
Yeah,
wherever you're going.
that's what the 24/7 feed is showing right now. Nice stars tonight. We had a little bit of rain, probably.
Now I never did see anybody post pictures of the aurora. We were supposed to have that big blast from the sun, and people down in Florida were even supposed to be able to see it this time, but I didn't hear nothing from anybody.
I haven't heard that there's been any northern lights. And I'm down here watching the cameras quite a bit. So this alignment is supposed to be in the west. Early evening, I take it, right?
I don't know if it could be actually during the day even. I don't know, where we might not be able to see it. The bigger planets you can see with the naked eye, but other ones you have to have some kind of telescope or something to be able to see all of them.
Because I'm trying to compare that. On the upper right corner, that is the Cassiopeia. That's the W. Because if I go out in my backyard right now and look straight up, the Big Dipper is right in our backyard upside down, because it's always opposite direction of the sky. So that's Cassiopeia. So I'm trying to figure out how far over to our neighbors' yards. And I hope the trees aren't going to interfere with seeing some of these planets Friday.
I don't know. We can actually possibly flip the other camera upside down.
Yeah, well, since it's nice. Oh, that's right. Since it is nice again, our sky cam actually is our sky cam that we turn upside down, and you have nothing but a rotating 360 view of the sky. But we don't do that in the wintertime. I use it for animals and birds and chickens. So yeah, so that's Cassiopeia. Scoot over to the west. There's a lot of stars out tonight. My goodness. What?
I was singing Southern Nights.
Don't sing too much of it, we'll get striped.
Well, if they mistake me for Glenn Campbell, then there's something wrong with their.
Two Shadows. So that's the reason why his dad decided to make Oregon home. Not a lot of snow. It's in the valley. But I laugh when it does. Nobody can drive. Yep. I have a decent scope and astronomical binoculars. I spent hours on this. I do too. I mean, when it's warm, I'm outside. I've got all kinds of night vision stuff. I'm staring at the stars, watching meteors, falling stars, listening to surrounding sounds. And
Yeah, Ted, it's the 28th. They said the planets align on the 28th. And I don't know if that's the exact date that it starts or that's a date that you're most likely to see it. But I posted an article on our Facebook on Midwest Night Watchers, the group.
But
so you can read it all.
Can they not see it?
I don't know.
Makes you wonder, how much, over they are. If it would be down in their horizon, you'd have to look it up, Ted. Look up on your area, see if you guys be able to see it. It might be a different time that you're going to see it or something.
I have no idea. I have hard enough trouble with our skies and stuff going on.
Yeah, I miss sky watching, and that's why I'm down here staring at the 8 cameras.
I think I saw one day coming up that's almost going to be 60 degrees. So yeah. maybe you'll be able to go outside.
I saw 59. Yeah.
At night even. So it might not be bad at night.
I went on the front porch the other day. I just don't like going to the front porch because people are driving by, walking by. I'm not a people person.
See, growing up, we always sat on the front
porch. I know, everybody was on the porch.
I don't mind sitting on the front porch.
They want to wave at people back then. I like my quietness, and it's just me. Other people understand. It's too people-y out there.
2 old ladies walking a dog. I don't think it's too people-y, but that's all right. Now, as the weather gets warmer, the road in front of us seems to be a good place for people to bike and ride their golf carts and walk and jog, and so there's always somebody going by.
They hit those railroad tracks and then they fly all the way down the road. And the school's down there also. So if I'm on the front porch around 20 after 3, all you got is school buses and parents. And when it's warm, half those parents have golf carts and they're picking up their kids. The backyard is quiet, except for roosters.
Yeah, roosters.
Yeah, I figured Michigan was getting all this warmth too. So far, the 10-day forecast shows it's gonna be here for a while. And the other night, I did see a meteor the other night. I went, ooh, that was cool. You just saw it zipping down. And it wasn't a little fairy or orb thing. That was definitely in the sky. So you got to have patience and just sit here and just stare at the camera. I was asked then, what are we? I said, you're not people, you're family.
You have to read the one before that.
Oh. I was visiting family between snowstorms. And I said, I don't like people, so I don't go out much. And I was asked, what are we? And I said, you're not people, you're family. Golf carts for school pickups. Yep. Half this town, I swear, has not just golf carts. They got little dune buggy things.
Yeah.
They've got whatever your brother has. The little Arctic cat, the little.
He doesn't have Arctic Cat anymore, but that's what he used to have.
Yeah, that's what he used to have.
Robin said her name is Two Birds. She has two birds in her name. Her first name's Robin, and her last name's a bird too.
And I know what it is because I have her on Facebook. Ah.
So there you go.
I nearly got slapped for that. Poor Freaky. So yeah, in the warm weather, there's going to be so many golf carts, and if you're watching the cameras, if you hear this bzzz going by, it's usually a golf cart in the front.
Bzz.
Bzzz. And they have all different sounds, and
yeah, we got those bumblebee bikes
and the mini bikes. Yeah, the trailer park over there has these little gasoline bicycles, and they go around town, the little tiny little mini bikes, and the electric. Well, no, they're gasoline, the little electric bikes.
Well, we have electric bikes in town, but we have a lot of little gas bikes.
Yeah, and they go around acting like they're Hell's Angels, like they got a little Harley. And I'm going, oh my gosh, it sounds like a bumblebee going down the road.
Sometimes there is a gang of them. There's 4 or 5 of them all together going to the Dollar General.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't. We could probably go walking down the road. We can't go walk in the fields or anything because it's so soft and sloppy. I mean, even the deer last night was hesitant and barely walking in the garden because they were sinking down. It's so muddy.
We could put our muck boots on, our barn boots, and head out.
Yeah.
Try out our new glasses.
Oh, that's right, our glasses. We got new, what do you even call those things? They're glasses that you can see reindeer antlers.
Reindeer
antlers.
Wow, I want to see a reindeer.
Deer antlers and morel mushrooms and things are supposed to, pop? Or the antlers are supposed to.
The antlers are supposed to stick out. Morel mushrooms are supposed to stick out. Because they're blue tinted, and for whatever reason, it's eliminating the light, the spectrum of light, and it makes the mushroom stand out better, and antlers also stand out. So we bought some, and we're going to try them out this spring and hit the fields and see if we can find some mushrooms and some antlers.
Freaky said UV or something.
Yeah, they're definitely blue blockers or something. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't read necessarily all the specs to it, but
yeah,
what the heck? Let's try it.
To make those appear better or pop out when you're wearing these glasses. And I know the other night a buck showed up, so he hasn't lost his rack yet. Gosh darn it! But this time of year is when they start dropping their antlers. I would love to find some antlers. That'd be so cool. Yeah, I hope they work too.
We do have a couple. We have a couple small antlers that we found going mushroom hunting and stuff, but we don't have a full set or even one side. We don't have a full antler. We'd like to find one. I've seen them up at my brother-in-law's, so everything we find or I've found or he's been with us, so obviously it's his land, so he gets the antlers. But I have found them on his property.
We've had quite a few bucks show up this winter. I like to find the antlers of that big boy. I mean, he's got a gorgeous rack. That'd be the antler that I love to find. Oh. We got to get out there before the farmers start tilling in the spring too. So. So hopefully the weather stays and the ground dries up a little bit and we can get out there before the farmers get busy, which will be end of April, 1st of May, usually when they're out.
Who knows if it dries up, if it dries up and.
Yeah, that's true. Some years they have gone out there in earlier April, but it's usually end of April, May when they start getting busy. You don't shoot out finders keepers when you find something. Yeah, there you go. You shouldn't have told your brother-in-law.
Well, it's family, so
I know. Man, we haven't been up there in years hunting. We've been going
yeah,
different places.
we always go to our own places.
I think we got to walk the train tracks for morel mushrooms. People say that they pop up around train tracks.
Right.
But that won't be until the middle of April or so. Also, is morel mushroom season. Some of the best mushrooms out there is morels. We love them so much we named a cat after him.
Yes, we did.
That's because he's a pale yellow. He does kind of look like a yellow morel mushroom. We named a cat Morel.
Morel.
And he even meows like it. Morel, Morel.
So since we were talking about portals.
Oh, brown dwarf, yeah.
What?
After fires and stuff, morels like to pop up after fires. Power lines for morels and recently burnt areas for morels.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
We usually only have right around Mother's Day, right? Like it's getting earlier though. It seems like it used to be you go out at Mother's Day or that weekend or that week and you'd find morels. Now it seems like it's earlier.
Usually Mother's Day is done. Usually they say by Mother's Day it's like 2-3 weeks only that we can find morels around here, and then usually by Mother's Day depends on the weather.
And every once in a while you'll find people that find them early for some reason. So it just depends on the area and temperature of the ground and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why the morels would be on train tracks, or is it because of because wasn't there was some guy in Henry that would always walk the track. I heard it years ago. Somebody said they would find all kinds of mushrooms walking up and down the tracks.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think we have truffles, do we?
No, not that I know of. I mean, we have ginseng, we have mushrooms, we have the other,
the truffles. Do we have truffles in the U.S.? I thought truffles was in another country. Well, Oregon gets truffles.
Yeah, they're more famous over in Europe and the UK, but we do have them in the U.S.
Oh, I did not know that. I did not know that truffles were over here. I thought it was something that was foreign. Interesting. Oregon has truffles. Brown dwarf says Spain. That's where truffles is. Huh.
So this is in southern Illinois, the seven gates to hell, the portals to hell. And this happens to be number 5. And obviously the kids have been there and people have been scoping it out. So the story is, if you are on this old country road and there's 7 of these viaducts that the train, obviously it was trains on top at one time, so if you go from gate 1 all the way through, I think it's 7, maybe it's 6, might be 6, I don't know. But if you go through them all in order and you go through or hit number 7 at midnight, then you're supposedly can see a portal open and you see hell. Then here's what 6 looks like after the kids have been done with it. And I blocked out the bad word just for YouTube. So there's 7 of these and you're supposed to do them all in a row.
So in order for it to work, you have to go through 1, 2, 3. So you have to go through
all the way. And then there's something about if you do it out of order,
Oh.
You can get lost and put in a loop where you don't ever come out of it.
Oh.
So you would be going over and over the same gates all the time and never finding one again or never finding 7. You're kind of stuck in this loop where you think you're going through and going to the next gate or whatever, and you never see 1 or 7 again. You're always going from 3 or 4 to 5 or back to 4 again, back to 4 again, back to 4 again, or whatever the story is.
Like Freaky said, who would want to do that? Plenty of people have done it.
Oh, there's a ton. I mean, as you can see all the graffitis, all the kids party there, and they go through the gates, and there's
Hi, cat.
Hi, Kathita.
It's a cat. I just sent Garo a link for an envy show. Video was Jesus. Hey, we got Jesus coming on here in a few weeks. Jesus.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we've got Jesus coming back. Whoop, whoop. We're going to interview Jesus.
Thank you. I like watching Jesus. I like watching Jesus videos.
Yeah, he's good. So this is about our 4th time I think we'll have Jesus back.
Yeah, I think so.
Gonzo, Breaking Bad.
Gonzo.
Breaking Bad, Breaking Bigfoot. Now we got to find out how his Breaking Bad vehicle is coming along that he wants to take to conferences.
I think last I heard he wasn't working on it yet. It
got damaged in the storm. Remember?
Well, I think he's doing other projects right now, including possibly a new movie series.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, so Gonzo's going to be in another. Hopefully, it gets picked up and it gets approved. So you'll be seeing Gonzo on the big screen or maybe TV again.
He's got Breaking Bigfoot. Yeah, so he's on 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Or is he after Brown Dwarf and them? I'm trying to.
You got the schedule right in your desk.
He's March 9th. Yep. It's Latchkey and Brown Dwarf this Sunday. The next Sunday after that will be Gonzo, Jesus. We're going to interview Jesus. And it's not Jesus. He says, I am not Jesus, I'm Jesus. Jesus is English. That's what he said. He said, it's English. He said, I pronounce it Jesus. So many people think it's Jesus.
Well, that's how you normally pronounce it.
Right. But he actually pronounces it Jesus.
So here's some pictures that I gathered for a show that I did with Dennis Carroll.
Oh.
About spirit animals, and I never got to show them on the show because we got talking about other stuff and showing other cryptids and spirit animals and stuff. So
got sidetracked,
and I really like these pictures, so I'm gonna show them.
Awesome. Ooh.
So these are all going to be. I think they're all Native Americans, and they all have spirit animals.
Wow.
And obviously you can take whether they're spiritual fathers, their protectors, guardians, or you can just say, okay, the Native Americans, and they have the attributes of a bear, the strength, the agility, all that stuff. But these pictures are also supposed to be of spirit animals that are their guides, their ancestral fathers or guides. So I just thought these artwork that I got for his show, or the show that we did with him, was awesome. We never got to show them. So there's another bear, but it happens to be
that's beautiful.
A princess or a Native American woman. And there's obviously a chief offering a deer some corn, and we all know how the Native Americans have a big attachment to corn, and they had the pouches with the pollen.
Speaking of corn, that was something that was brought up in a movie when they're talking about was Egypt actually United States. The Bible talks about corn, mentioning corn, and corn doesn't grow over in the Middle East. We've got corn.
Oh,
Isn't that interesting?
yeah. I've seen that about Israel.
Yeah.
That
And so it's just another thing on the list of was Egypt actually, over here? Was Israel over here?
hey, there's Elise. When did she sneak in? Did you say hi to her?
Oh, hello. I did not see her.
And
Yeah,
Robin,
everyone's sneaking in here.
Freaky said that's not a bear. Robin says my husband's spirit animal was a bear.
Oh, bear shield tattoo. Well, welcome in, Elise.
I hope I'm saying your name right. I think it's Elise.
I think it's Elise. Tigers and bears. Oh my. Oh, that's a cool one too. Wow, they're always staring at each other like they're in deep telepathy.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Oh, Cat just made up a point. There is hydroglyphs of elephants. Or however you call those things.
Right.
Oh.
There's all kinds of animals. There's all kinds of animals in hieroglyphs. There's the big there's birds, there's whether they're phoenixes or other birds and other animals, there's tigers and
Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. Oh.
So there's the eagle or hawk. Maybe that's a hawk. That might be a golden hawk. Maybe it's a golden eagle. I don't know.
It looks like more of a hawk. And they were definitely into their animals, connecting with them.
Yeah, horses are always a great. We always like the pintos and the horses that the Native Americans are always pictured on or shown in movies on. Mustangs and pintos and what's the other? It's not calico, but what is it with the spotted ponies?
Pinto.
Oh, pinto. I already said that.
A painted one for Pinto. Oh, spotted is Appaloosa.
Appaloosa. All right.
Yeah, that's what I had. I had an Appaloosa for 10 years. So yeah, Appaloosas are spotted, but if they're big painted, they're called painted or Pintos, painted horse.
Now this is a great rabbit hole to go down.
Uh-oh, stop what?
Stop. Yeah, what are we stopping?
Ted just said, stop that.
I don't know what we were doing.
It's going by too fast.
So this is a great rabbit hole to go down. If you look up the history or oral legends of the great white buffalo, and obviously Ted Nugent had a song called "The Great White Buffalo" and about hunting and all that. But there's a great Charles Bronson movie about the theory or the folklore of the great white buffalo, where you had the Indian chief and him were both having the same dreams of a great white buffalo, and they end up chasing this legend out in real life and finding them.
So there's only one?
I guess there's only one great white buffalo spirit. I don't know.
Okay. So it was more of a white buffalo spirit, not a physical. Because I was kind of thinking, well, how do we not know if there was another species of buffalo and they were white?
Well, there could be albino buffalo, just like there's albino deer or whatever. But the Native American folklore or the oral history is of their spirits, or they're just like we're talking about all these other animals. There was one that was an elder or a great white buffalo. That was their main one.
Yeah, Freaky says white buffaloes are rare, or they used to be. Filthy. I'm really losing.
You're losing what?
I'm trying. It's something going back and forth between Cat and Ted, I think.
Oh,
Class clowns have arrived.
let's say you said filthy. I was looking for filthy.
I know.
And
I
Cat.
thought it was filthy. Like filthy. I don't think filthy would be in our chat. Filthy.
I don't think filthy's ever came to our chat.
I don't think so. So she's calling Ted filthy. Shh, quit. You're the one that had your nose underneath the blanket for 2 hours.
So if I'm not mistaken, and I could be telling this wrong, this is an actual photograph out west, and this is, I believe, this is a Navajo elder woman,
Oh wow.
and that's a real owl on her hand or on her wrist.
Wow.
And there's, just like all well, we talk about owls being wise and all the stories of owls. Well, they had spirits and wisdom and all that stuff attached to owls also. And but every time I look at this picture, and the reason I grabbed it, not only because it's such a fantastic picture, but it reminds me of my dream.
Oh yeah, you
So I
did.
can picture that. I can
Yeah.
picture this elder talking and having a conversation, either telepathy or whatever, with this owl.
Yeah, because that owl was saying something to you. You just didn't hear it or not remember it, or
It said something. I don't know what it
Yeah,
said.
it
And
was
I
saying
don't remember any words or anything, and I wish I did, but I haven't, and I have never had that dream again. So I don't know. It hasn't came back to me.
wow. They're just something when I look at her face.
And obviously there's the wolf. The wolf is a big spirit animal. And I mean, we talk about wolf spirits, and for us, and obviously the Native Americans are very close to wolves, or all animals, whatever their attributes. As a hunter, as a ghost.
I hope that's not coming over the mic.
I don't know what you're talking about, Ted. I just know that's a pretty nice picture of a Navajo woman elder.
No, most senator women look like reptilians. Just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah, owls in dreams are rich symbols that encourage introspection and exploration and self-discovery.
So I didn't obviously I didn't put a lot of pictures in this because I had other pictures of other stuff, like demon dogs, black shuck,
Oh, that's a cool one too.
the cat at the U.S. Capitol, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, I grabbed these just because of the Native American closeness and how predominant it is in all their oral stories about wildlife, whether it's owls, eagles, hawks, deer, bears, buffalo, wolves, foxes, you name it. They had some kind of spirit attached to it, or ancestral.
Well, you can tell they had a strong prayer meditation life too.
Oh, Ted had an encounter with a black shuck.
Oh. Night, Freaky. Oh, Freaky's running away. Good night, Freaky. Have a good night's sleep. Dream about freaky stuff.
See if I can find my picture of.
Now, see, how do you go through that like that? Dang it. It has to be the Apple computer that's not letting us do that. Darn it.
Here's the one that I showed for Black Shuck.
Oh, wow.
Or Shuck.
Wow.
I say Shuck, but it could be Shook, I guess. I think it's Shuck.
Old world building. Nice old world building.
So this is like like the dogs of hell or hellhounds that protect
cemeteries
or so they'll either keep you away or they will drag you to hell. And supposedly in the European, like we talked about medieval times, or the dark days, that they would actually kill a dog in the cemetery so its ghost or its spirit would protect the graveyard. So that's all I know. They can either be evil or they can ward you away from evil. So there's two different stories you can hear depending on which way you go, and you have hellhounds and you have all kinds of stuff mixed in with the stories, whether they actually belong together, or sometimes it's kind of hard to straighten out one story from another story. And so that's the picture I showed for that one. And then going back to Native Americans.
We'll take her out.
I also had this up there for the attributes of spirit animals and their meanings. So the wolf is strength, loyalty, and freedom. Elephant is also wisdom, strength, and stability. The owl is wisdom, intuition, and knowledge. The bear is courage, strength, and protection. The lion is power and courage and leadership. The deer is grace, gentleness, and a new beginning. The fox is cunning, versatile, and adaptability. And a butterfly would be transformation, growth, and beauty. A tiger would be power, courage, and determination. An eagle would be freedom, vision, and strength. And a bonus animal would be a phoenix, would be a rebirth, a renewal, and a transformation. So we never got to those either on Dennis's show. So I just thought I'd share it out with you guys since we're talking about all kinds of stuff. And so, yeah, I like pictures. I like pictures and graphs and maps and visual stuff. Really clicks with me. I mean, so if I find a stunning picture or a thing, I try to download it or save it some way or so I can use it. Just like when we were talking about spirit animals, I found this one also. And this is actually about when we were talking about the actual ghosts or legends of spirit animals. So I thought that picture was cool. Whoever made that, or AI, or whoever did it.
That one's cool.
So my intention was to find a bunch of pictures like this, where they kind of had that ghostly spirit for the animals, depending on what, because there's stories of bears spectral bears, spectral wolves, wolf or white dogs running around, black dogs running around that are ghosts or apparitions. I don't know if you call animals apparitions or just spirits or what you call them when they're.
Ghost animal?
Well, I know they're a ghost animal.
Yeah,
We call things poltergeist,
right.
apparitions.
It'd probably be still an apparition. Oh,
So every once in a while, I'll find cool stuff and
that'd be a cool shirt.
I'll snag it or grab it to go along with our storyline or our stories we're telling. And
That would be a cool shirt.
then also there's see if I can find the other one.
Ooh.
This one's going to go along with the trucker stories, where they're driving long links, back before they had hours and all this and sleep time that they had to do. The truckers would go hours and hours across country or whatever, and there would always be these reports of either white dogs or ghostly dogs that travel alongside the vehicles or cars. People in passenger cars, people on vacations have said they've seen dogs on the highways or interstates running alongside, or wolves even. But it's usually a white dog or a black dog. Once in a while, there's like a black panther or a big giant black cat that they'll see running along vehicles, but usually it's a dog. Thanks, Elise. Thanks for coming, everybody. I mean, I know we kind of ramble on and we kind of get off topic on other topics and this topic and that topic. We think we have an idea when we come on about talking about maps, but we usually end up rabbit holing and going wherever. And it depends on what you guys say in chat too. We try to talk about what you guys talk about.
Man, we like to share our rabbit holes and think out loud with you, and you guys come up with stuff and that makes sense, and trying to put pieces together. And
oh, Elise, did you see that? Elise has oracle cards that have spirit animals on them.
Actually, I think I have a set also of spirit animals. That's actually oracle.
Well, I'm assuming if you draw a card and it's a wolf, it's going to have those characteristics that's going to be happening in somebody's life, whether they're going to get wisdom or a new beginning, or, there's always something that ties in with somebody's life. They might have something nice happening, a new beginning, a transformation, or they're going to get some knowledge or wisdom come their way, if you pull an owl card, or if.
Well, what did they say? You don't, some people say you have a spirit animal. Why? It may be that all of them are involved with us from time to time. Some people say, what's my spirit animal? There'll just be one. The other ones may come in and, you see what I mean? Help guide too, not just
right.
one. All of them could.
So there's also, let me take that down while I find the next one. The other story we did, or I did, I guess I should say.
And then
is the ghost cat or spirit cat at the U.S. Capitol building.
What? That's at the U.S. Capitol building?
So there has been reports that people that go down in the archives or where they store the furniture, all the previous presidents, whether it was the I can't think of the name of the desk. The desk's been in the news here lately because they took it out of the Oval Office. But anyway, where they store all the furniture and the statues and paintings, because they can decorate the White House however the president wants. So they put everything else in storage. Well, this cat supposedly is running. It's a ghost cat that appears and disappears. And supposedly, when some of the presidents have fallen ill or died, this cat appears. It appeared when JFK was assassinated. It appeared when Lincoln was assassinated. It appeared when Garfield was shot. When Teddy Roosevelt was shot. So it has appeared at different places, but mostly in the basements. They see it in the basements, and it has appeared in a couple other buildings, like the White House, depending on if the omen or the harbinger was for a president, or it has appeared it's mostly appeared at the U.S. Capitol. But the strange thing is that they have seen, and they're saying these are the paw prints or marks from this cat that it's leaving. This cat is leaving marks in the not the foundation, but the flooring or whatever of this.
It does look like a paw print.
So I don't know. It's interesting.
And you're talking about the desk. Cat said it. The one that Kennedy was under as a kid.
Resolute. It's the Resolute desk. There's two of them. We have one, and it's just like in the movie with Nicolas Cage, National Treasures. There's two Resolute desks. We have one, and the other one's in the Queen's estate over in England.
How'd we get one?
Because the ship, the Resolute, was an old ship, and they took the timbers out of the boat and they made these desks, and the Queen gifted the U.S. president one of the desks. So we had, because we were on good terms with them, because of the wars and everything. We've always supported them, and they've always supported us in wars. So just like the Statue of Liberty we got from France for the great help we were during the war to protect France and the whole Europe and UK, actually. But so that's how we get some of these desks and statues and gifts, and there's all kinds of stuff from Europe and the White House and Capitol buildings and as gifts because of the relationships we've had with all these nations. Anyway, the Resolute desk was made from the ship, the Resolute. And there's two of them. Just like there is two needles.
Two what?
Cleopatra's needle, or the obelisk that came from Egypt. There's two of them.
Okay.
There's one in England, which I think once again is, I don't know if it's in a center square or if it's at where the Queen lives, but there's one in New York in Central Park, and it's an authentic Egyptian obelisk. Now, going along what we were talking about with the Grand Canyon and all the Egyptian stuff, was it already really here, or did it actually come from Egypt as a gift to the U.S. and England?
I bet it was already here.
So they have one and we have one, and they're supposed to be twins of each other. And ours is called the Cleopatra needle.
What's the other one called?
I'm assuming it's Cleopatra something or needle. It's another needle, or that's what they just called it. I don't know. I only studied ours. I didn't really study theirs. I probably should look up pictures of theirs. And then talking about that,
and then
we brought this up on a show not too long ago about the Serpent Mound. Where the Serpent Mound is not only an astronomical or a summer solstice, a solar alignments and lunar alignments, and for the equinoxes and all that good stuff. But the point where you view this from, there is an obelisk, and I don't know if it's ancient like the Cleopatra's needle, but there is an obelisk, but it's not visible right now. But it is supposedly still there, and I still need to look up that picture and show everybody. I do have a picture of it that somebody went down in. This is a ravine going down to this this waterway. So we're all these trees and brush and all this stuff, and then you got the mounds up on top of a clearing. But the obelisk is supposed to be there, and somebody, whether it was vandals or somebody just wanting to get rid of it, it's no longer on its foundation, but it's down inside the ravine. But evidently, it's still there, and hikers and explorers have went and take pictures of it. So there's another obelisk in the United States. So you guys can look that up if it's another rabbit hole you'd like to explore or go down. So what are you guys saying in chat?
Right here, right there. You can share the little story about Bloomington.
Oh, the Mothman?
Yeah. So yes, we have had a recent sighting. Actually, it was last fall, 3-4 months ago now.
Yeah, it's been.
I think it was last fall. Yeah, we had a recent hour and 15 minutes away from us. So you can share that story.
So there's the first sightings in Illinois was Chicago at O'Hare Airport with Mothman showing up. So usually you have Mount Pleasant. Is that right? Mount Pleasant was the original. And we did newspaper articles that Jane's mom had. We read those night for the original Mothman reports. But then Chicago started having Mothman reports. And there's a you can go to Google Maps and you can find a Google map of all the reports somebody's been mapping out and listing what they looked like and what the person said, or what they said the experience was when they saw Mothman. And some of them are like bat-like. Some of them they say are moth-like.
So it's called
Some of them look like gargoyles. What?
So when you go to Google, you type in Mothman map. And it will pop up.
Yeah, type in a Mothman Chicago Google map, and you should get a link. It's usually on Pinterest or no, Reddit. Usually it pops up a Reddit site, but it still lets you view it.
Yeah, Kat said June 22, Mothman was reported seen in the Rockford Canal. So that's 2 hours north of us.
Yeah, so it's spreading out further and further from Chicago itself, where O'Hare and Lake Michigan is, that area. The main city is spreading out further into the suburbs. So
because Bloomington Normal is southeast of us, so it's going down. It's more like east central. So it's definitely spreading out from Chicago.
So that one was college students. We're in the dormitories, and the one students, I can't remember if it was a girl or a boy or maybe it was co-ed, I don't know. But they looked out their window and there's another building across the quad or right across the street. I'm not across the quad, but across the street from where their building is, and they can see it. And they were up high, so they could see the roof line pretty easy, and there was a dark figure. And they thought, well, maybe it's another college student up on the roof partying, or maybe it was a maintenance guy doing something, because that's not unusual at a college, have kids on the roofs or wherever, or even a maintenance man doing some kind of work because power went out or something's acting up. Well, then they said it's like the Mothman. Of course, they didn't know it at the time. They just thought it was a dark figure or whatever it was, and actually stood up, and it looked huge, tall. So then they figured, well, this isn't just a college kid, or unless it was a giant basketball player or something for the college. But they said it was huge, very tall. And then they noticed
And
And
then
it looked like it stared at them, and then the eyes were glowing red. Some of them, a couple of the students, there's more than one pair of students that saw this. So it was verified by a few, unless the story got around, who knows, but supposedly it's verified by several students. That one said it was almost like an orangish amber kind of glow, and other ones described it as a red glow. So I mean, it's kind of similar. It's depending on the color, I guess, but they said the eyes glowed. And it said it wasn't because lights from street lights or flashlights or anything was hitting it, because it was way up there and everything was dark. I mean, it was a dark shadow until it either turned or it opened its eyes or whatever. All of a sudden, the eyes were glowing.
Or realized they were watching him. He realized, oh, they're actually watching me.
So then they thought, okay, this is, obviously they're getting scared, or like, what the heck is this thing? It's all of a sudden it's gigantic, got red glowing eyes. And then they said all of a sudden they saw it go like this, and they could see the shape of the wings.
And then it took off, right?
Then all it did was kind of like almost like bend down or crouch down, almost like you see superheroes in movies or Superman. All of a sudden they kind of crouch down and then they zip up. Well, that's what this thing did, and it was like seconds and it was gone. They couldn't see it no more. So it went straight up.
So that was just a few months ago.
Yep, that was a few months ago, and that was a really good story. So you can look that up. I think there's a few newspaper articles on it, and even the college newspaper, I believe, wrote about it. And there's even
ISU.
There's even stories online where people are starting to tell the story. So
yeah, it's ISU, right?
Find it online also.
U of I is in Champaign. That's ISU in Bloomington.
Yes. Redbirds.
So if you look it up, you can probably find the article on it.
Yep.
Right, few articles. So we heard that. We just kind of went, oh my, that's only an hour and 15 minutes away from us. Who knows what we're going to find this spring when we get outside. There is a program called Expedition X. Josh Gates Discovery sent 2 of his investigators to the Chicagoland area because there was a guy in downtown Chicago that caught something. Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Catheta said there was 4 teens, young adults in the 70s, all had the same story when they were interviewed separately.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. There's the Mothman. So you can look up the Google Maps, or you can just Google Mothman Chicago O'Hare Airport, whatever, and you'll find those.
Have you checked it lately? See if there's any new?
No, I have not. I've been so busy doing all this other stuff with maps and
Blues Cruise,
other people's shows and pictures, and
I know I've been going down rabbit holes.
Every once in a while, you retract back to stuff like that, but I haven't lately.
Hi, Blues Cruise.
Hey, how you doing? So then there's Bigfoot. That's happened close to our area, at least 2 hours away, hour and a half, depending on how you go from our area. Down south, past Peoria, Galesburg, Canton.
Well, it's close to Canton, right?
Yeah, area.
Close to the Canton area.
So there was Bigfoot spotted by, and this is all on BFRO, the Bigfoot Research, whatever
it means.
Report organization or whatever, BFRO. So you can go to their website and you can read about it. There's all those. There was one that was spotted by a trucker early in the morning right outside Canton on the interstate. They saw something going from almost like the ditch or the ravine into the tree lines, because there's obviously a lot of trees that are along the interstates and highways in that area. Then the most recent one, this happened, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago now. I can't remember. I think I told you about it at Wildlife Prairie Park.
Uh-oh.
Doggy seeing something.
Oh, there's a possum on the front porch.
Oh,
Yeah, the possum's looking up at the window, and
looking at the dog.
now he's going. He's sniffing. Like, can I smell that dog?
So there. So people were in the Wildlife Prairie Park, which is a closed-in state park where they have wild animals, whether it's foxes, wolves, whatever, natural for the area, enclosed and natural habitats that are fenced off to keep them in their areas, obviously. So it's not like a zoo, but it's almost like a natural habitat for them. So they're not caged in or anything. They're
got
actually
big
have
areas. Yeah, they got.
so it's a huge park or a zoo. Well, people are out there hiking this. So they have trails that go along to different pens and cages and all this stuff, and well, they were out in one of the places that didn't have the cages necessarily or the pens, and they found big footprints. And they even had it's in the snow. So these footprints are in the snow because we just had snow recently. Smelled it now, but we had it when this report happened. So the stride was as long as those hiking poles that you have for the snow or for cross skiing or hiking.
Mm-hmm.
They had one of those poles or those, whatever they're called, and they could put that pole and it would almost match the stride, that pole, however tall it was, 4 foot or whatever, 5 foot, whatever the pole length was. They could put that and it would go from basically the front toes to the heel of the next footprint.
And that's only about 45 minutes away from us.
Yeah, that's not far at all.
Right. About 45 minutes southwest. Because I've never gone to Wildlife Prairie Park.
I've been there twice, I think. It was closer to me when I lived in Bloomington and the Mackinac area for the short time that I did.
Blue Screws typing and saying hi. Welcome in.
Hi, Blue. Thanks for coming.
She did scare the possum off.
Oh man, it's 1 o'clock already.
Oh wow, it's been 3 hours.
This night's been flying by.
Wow, we've talked about all kinds of stuff tonight. My goodness.
So yeah, this is fun. I guess we've really covered a lot of different things tonight.
Mm-hmm. All the way down to Sasquatch being painted in a cathedral.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's bizarre. Sasquatch painted in a cathedral. Why?
What else do we got? Anything else before we take off? We'll just keep going.
Pictures. Oh, good night. Good night, Elise. Thank you for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for coming. We appreciate it. We love all you guys coming in and hanging out. And you got sent some images on Telegram.
Yeah, I gotta get out of chat here, which I don't need to actually be in anyway since we have chat. And
so we are on.
That's the set that I have. Yeah, I do have this spirit animal set. Yeah, that's what I've got.
So if you see our thumbnail or our background right there, I took our pictures down low. We are on Rumble tonight. We are on YouTube Live, and we're always on YouTube Live when we go, except for movie night. Movie nights, Fridays and Saturdays, we've been doing. This is what, 4th week now, I think, or something coming up. I don't remember. So Friday and Saturdays, we'll be doing old TV shows, whether it's Twilight Zone, One Step Beyond,
think this is the 4th week we've been doing movies or cartoons or Lost in
Yeah.
Space or something. Yeah.
We'll show some kind of old show
They're down there.
that deals with cryptids or supernatural or paranormal or sci-fi, something along that line, to go along with our stuff that we talk about. Then we'll show a movie, whether it's a cryptid or a monster movie or paranormal, or like everybody was saying in chat, we did I can't even think of what it was. Forbidden Planet. So we've done several old movies. We've done a couple movies that were in the 70s actually, but most of them are in the 50s. Yeah, 50s, I guess. Blob, Forbidden Planet.
Brown Dwarf, you in chat. He sent me a message. I forgot. You told me the other day that he told you through text that he sent a message, and I never did check it. It says, tell G we got some thermal units available for a great price. They are like iPads, but made by Android. I think I'll send the info. So did he send you the info? Or
I thought he was going to send it to you, so I don't know. Maybe he forgot since I didn't bring it back up.
All right.
I was waiting for you because I told you about it. I was waiting for you to tell me what he sent.
Okay, send thermal info.
So yeah, you guys can go to Rumble this Thursday or Friday, Saturday. I'm sorry. One week we did do like 4 nights in a row. We did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but now we're just doing Fridays and Saturdays, or trying to. This depends, but you can definitely find us, and I try to post it in places like especially if you're in our group, our Facebook group of Midwest Night Watchers. Otherwise, if you're subscribed to our Rumble channel, you'll get notification that way.
Sorry, Dwarfy.
I don't know if you're getting ready to say something. I keep wanting to not talk over top of you.
I just don't get on Telegram. I should get on Telegram more often. And then you told me the other day, I forgot that you said that Brown Dwarf sent a message. And
all right, I'll have to get a hold of him and see what he's talking about.
And yes, Robin, I've got that exact same set. So I thought I had a spirit animal set. I just don't really use them that much. Yeah, I thought I had an Oracle set.
Yep.
Ted said I said that.
Ted said I said?
Ditto. And the cat and Ted are still going back and forth about that.
Oh, cool.
That's why they're saying stop that. They're saying stop that to each other.
So anyway, I think we will call it a night. Unless you have something else you want to talk about, Jane, we'll just go ahead and end it here.
No,
we talked about it. Unless you want to show a picture or something, it's up to you.
Well, hopefully by Sunday or next week, we'll get these pictures on this computer organized or in a separate folder that I can pull them up easier. And I don't know why when we pull them up, we can't go to the next one and the next one. We'd have to be popping them up. So yes, I have a lot of pictures that I found, some new maps, really cool new maps. And we'll probably just pull 1 or 2 for next week and go from there. If we start a map now, it'll be another hour.
Yeah, so I think we better save something for next time, and hopefully we'll see you guys on our Rumble channel Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday will be our show Piercing the Veil, which will have Latchkey and Bigfoot Dwarf, and we're going to be talking about old world subjects, just kind of like what we were talking about tonight, about old maps and old buildings
around LA, probably.
Yeah, and I think I got some new pictures that we haven't shown yet, so I got some for that show. And Latchkey and Bigfoot Dwarf are going to be contributing their stuff that they've dug up on Tartaria and Old World. And
yeah, Dwarfy is still in chat. Yes, Dwarf, I sent you 2 more messages. Yeah, if you got info on the thermal or whatever, send it along. And I'm sorry I did not realize you sent messages. And Garrow even told me the other day, and I still forgot. I've been going down these Rabbit holes. I've been busy rabbit hunting.
Yeah, rabbit hunting.
Finding Sasquatch in church pictures.
So you'll find us again next week on Wednesday night on the Night Owl Lounge. We'll join you guys all back here again if you don't catch us on any of our other shows that I mentioned. And you can also find me on the Dr. Dennis Carroll's channel, Hunting the Shadows, and we call that segment The Road Less Traveled, where we talk about different weird subjects and objects and folklore and all kinds of stuff that you may have heard at one time or possibly you've never heard before.
Yeah.
So that's on Dennis's channel on Hunting the Shadows on YouTube.
They talk about things that people don't talk about too much.
It's almost like an In Search Of or
New things.
The Far Side, One Step Beyond, or any of those kind of shows. I mean, you never know where we're going to go or what we're going to talk about. And
stop that rabbit holing. Oh, we're taking you with these rabbit holes. That's why we're coming up with these maps. And,
absolutely.
And the old world and what we're coming up with, these mysterious old world buildings that they claim they built in a year or so. So, yeah, we're taking you down our rabbit holes.
I keep looking for going down the rabbit hole to find that room that has that table with the cake and the little vial of liquid and where you drink it and you become tall or small. And Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so you think that's real somewhere?
I don't know. I'm saying we keep going down all these rabbit holes, and I've yet to find that room where they got snacks and drinks.
I'm going down rabbit holes of just old world buildings, and I come across Sasquatch in a church, and I'm going, oh, cool. There's something new. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, wonder how many other murals and paintings and cathedrals have a Sasquatch. Girl, was that a bird? Ha ha.
A bird? What bird?
I'm not sure. Girl, was that a bird?
I scratched my face. I did not flip off Jane, if that's what you're asking. I did not do that. I was literally scratching my face or whatever. So no.
Oh, that kind of bird.
Oh, that's how I'm taking it. I don't know if that's what she means or not. I'm assuming, knowing Cathita, that's probably what she meant. But no, I did not. I know better. I value my life too much to do that.
Is that how to end the show? You flip people off? Bye.
I guess. I should bring up that picture. I found a picture of somebody that does a wood carving, or you can buy them. And it's somebody with the middle finger up. And they are carved to look like a goose or a duck. So your hand right here is the body and the legs of the goose, and then the middle finger is the neck and the head.
Oh.
So it looks like a hand, but it's in the shape of a goose. So anyway, thank you guys all for coming. We'll see you next time. We love you all. Thank you so much. We love the chat. You guys are so fun and to hang out with, and we love you guys bouncing ideas off of us.
Yes, and you're helping
it up. It makes the show interesting for us.
You're helping our rabbit holes. I mean, we're all thinking out loud together and might have some weird ideas, but you never know. Some of these conspiracies are weird.
So we'll always bring you guys some new maps if we can find them, or weird creatures on these maps, or if they're interesting. If it's just a boring old map, then we probably won't ever show it. But we love the stories of maps and Tartaria, mud floods, and
old world,
weird, unusual things. We'll try to keep up with the cryptid reports and UFO stuff. And like I said, we got a wealth of information from Jane's family that we got, so we can always dig into that and bring those out if need be. Otherwise, we'll just keep you bringing the stuff that we find, and we just go, I wonder what this is all about. And we'll just bring it to you guys and let you guys enjoy the ride with us.
Yeah, we're taking you down these rabbit holes.
So once again, thank you guys. We'll just go ahead and end it here. Hope to see you guys Friday, Saturday for movie night, and then Sunday for Piercing the Veil with Latchkey and Bigfoot Dwarf.
And Friday and Saturday is 10 o'clock Central Time is when we usually start on the Rumble. I'll let you guys.
We wait for Jessica Jones to get done because we're usually in her chat, and there's usually nobody else on that late at night. So,
And then we run till like what, 1, 2 in the morning?
yeah, about the same time, about 10 to 2, 10 to 3. Depends on how many shows we do, or if we're tired or not tired, or want to play at the movies. So we'll see you guys all this weekend.
Yep.
Love you.
Love you.
Keep looking up.
And keep your vibrations high.
Night, everybody.
Big hugs.